60, get debt relief now. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code QUICK to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code QUICK for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code QUICK for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
Progressive knows there are two things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday temperatures near 90 degrees with highs in the mid-90s and the heat index around 105. Another heat advisory, another WRAL weather alert day for today. Isolated storms in our southern counties today with a better storm chance Thursday and Friday afternoons. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 276 points to 44,357.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws, end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits!
Game over! Series over! Sebastian!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. One day, tomorrow, we kind of get football. The Hall of Fame game in the NFL. Starting the preseason is tomorrow. College camps are opening up. Duke's already practicing. NC State starts today. So we don't have time to dilly-dally. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing. This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. And this is the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
College camps, training camps, the ritual that is a college football training camp. NC State's first practice earlier today. All the talk, all the work, all the everything. In NC State's case, all the not talk really kind of had a low-key offseason. Leads to a day like today where you can start putting it together. I was thinking, I hadn't thought about this phrase in a super long time. This was a JV football phrase that I think encapsulates the first day of training camp very, very well. You've heard the term, I'm sure most of you have. If you follow college basketball or NFL or NBA basketball, when someone has a bad performance that supposedly hurts their prospect status, somebody will say, get ready to learn Chinese or get ready to learn Russian because that means you're not going to the NBA, you're going to go play overseas. There was a JV football coach that I had that used to tell kids on the first day of practice, we're about to give a lot of kids sneakers. And that essentially meant as soon as we start hitting, we're going to find out who becomes a basketball player.
Yep, who becomes a basketball player.
Who's going to be wearing sneakers by the end of the week? He'd go up and down like stretching lines. Oh, you're definitely ending the week in sneakers. You can take off your cleats right now, saying basically like I'm challenging your toughness. The first day, it is a kick in the gut no matter how many times you've done it. I've tried to explain this, but there's no way to, like, football is such a, like, testosterone, rah sport that you can't really explain what I'm about to explain without sounding a little bit like a meek little field mouse.
Okay.
You don't remember, like, even how heavy the helmet is when you're running conditioning. Like, your head, it's like, why is my head throbbing right now? And it's just, there's a lot of weight on you. You don't think about it. The first day is aggressive, and it's actually I like to use it, and I'm sure Dave Doran is this way because Dave Doran is an old school football guy. The first day is a really good barometer on how your team's going to face adversity because you are going to face adversity a bunch in a football season. It's kind of what it's built to do, right? Put you under high stress situations and see how you react. The first day you're out there, you're going to be tired. Your head's going to hurt. Even if you're not in full pads, you're going to be exerting a ton of energy. It's hot outside, and you're going to find out whether your team stays locked in the face of adversity or a team that's like, when's the next water break? And then if you're a coach, you got to turn on your coaching gear, right? You got to go full. Remember the Titans. Water is for washing blood off my uniform, and you got to whip them into shape. But it's still hope springs eternal at this time of year. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's chasing a conference championship. Everybody feels disrespected. Everybody, they don't know about this freshman, or they don't know about this transfer, or they don't know about this guy that's been in the weight room and put on 20 pounds. They don't know. And for the next month, which is kind of crazy, Dennis and I were doing the old calendar counting today, 28 days.
Yeah, 4 weeks from tomorrow, NC State ECU.
So for a month, your ridiculous optimism can't be thwarted. Can't be knocked down.
And Duke Elon's a month or 4 weeks from tomorrow as well.
Correct. And then once you get there, it's full speed ahead. We'll talk a bit about the calendar as it gets closer, but today, and by the way, UNC fans, everything I'm saying about NC State right now, everything we could have said about Duke 2 days ago when they started up camp, yours starts on Saturday. On Saturday is when UNC gets started, and that's all just the nature of the calendar and when your game is and when you're allowed to practice and how many practices you get and everything else. But today is a good day. Shout out to Ice Cube. That's number one. Let's hit number two.
Number two.
For the first time at length as a, what do we call him, 40, 50 millionaire, Jackson Blake.
45 millionaire, yeah.
45 millionaire plus whatever he's made up to this point. It's all guaranteed and coming his way. It's not in his bank account. But for the first time since rising second-year player for the Carolina Hurricanes, Jackson Blake, since he signed his contract, he spoke to the media at length. We have some audio for you that we'll be playing throughout the show. And let's just start with Jackson explaining why he felt this was the right time to sign an 8-year contract extension that ties him to the Canes for the next 9 years. Here's Jackson Blake in his own words.
I was super honored to even receive something like this. I mean, a year ago today, I probably, would have told you you're crazy. I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to make the team out of camp last year. So, I kind of knew right away when they offered around that, I was, pretty much sold. I mean, to have 9 more years, hopefully, in Carolina, I love it there. Obviously, I've only played 1 year there, and but it's kind of easy it was an easy decision for me to make the commitment, and I mean, obviously they showed the commitment too on their part. So super fortunate and super grateful to receive it, and I'm pumped up.
That's a good coach speaky answer, right? Just somebody that's all about it. I don't know if this was intentional, because part of it, I'm sure, is just it's guaranteed financial security for life if you manage your money well, right? He is now set forever, which at 21 years old has to be a really cool thing just to feel, right? Just, hey, guess what? If I play hockey for the next 9 years and don't do anything else that earns any cash for the rest of my life, I'm good, my kids are good, we just have to manage the money well. That's a cool feeling. So credit to him there. But also, I talk a lot about, and everyone does, right? If you follow sports, what would you do if you were in this situation? And I like to think I would kind of do the Jackson Blake thing, right? Find a place I like, find a culture I like, find a city I like, and make it easy for them to plan a winner, right? Make it easy for them to plan the roster. Give them 9-year commitment, and I don't need to break the bank. I don't need to go full Kirk Cousins and take short-term deals and hit free agency every 2 years and keep trying to reset the market. $40-50 million and I'm good, right? You'd like to think that's kind of the way that I think I get to keep it rolling, right? Now, who knows how it would actually be when your agent's sitting there going, if you took a 3-year deal, you could take another bite at the apple when you're 26. And then when you're 26, the cap will be this. And who knows, you might be a $15 million a year player. And who knows how you react in those moments. But I just think Jackson Blake, for quality of life, looking back when you're 80 and you're looking back on your life, I think that's kind of a good way to do it. I was loyal to a team. I gave them the opportunity up front to be a part of a winner for a long time. And, yeah, I made a couple shekels along the way, and I didn't have to worry about my finances for the rest. But I didn't, squeeze every last drop out of that orange, and I was still happy and successful. So credit to Jackson Blake. Maybe he'll become one of my guys. He'll become one of the dudes, guys that I root for no matter what. Put him right there next to Chatfield and Jarvis and a few others. That was number 2 on the Big 3 at 3. Let's hit the number 3.
Number 3.
Panthers training camp is going on. They had a practice earlier today. I'm going to quickly hit some of just the nuts and bolts, like the factual information that I can pass along. Then I'm going to ask everybody a question. First, Hunter Renfrow not practicing. He was stretching with the injured group. We have Dave Canales audio here after practice on an update on Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter tweaked his hamstring. I asked him, I said, shoot, if we had to play Sunday, you think you're playing? He's like, oh, I'm playing. So just something that we, caught early, wanted to take care of him right here. I knew this was going to be a high day. We'll have a couple of days to get him recovered, and then we'll check in back when we in a couple of days and see where we're at.
I mean, that's as simple as it gets. I do wish he would ask one more, just add one word. If we had a game today, would you play well? Because sometimes guys are like, I'll play, I'm 35%, but I will limp my way to an out route for you, coach.
Oh, I could play as well. Right now, my current state doesn't mean I'm going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much like, okay, if we needed you to be open on a play, could you get open is the better question. But it's so early, and he is a veteran. He, the mental side, he's gonna knock out of the park. Mike Jackson, corner, not practicing for the second practice in a row. That, 1, I'm cool with. Vet day, take your break. 2, antennas are up. Not terrified of anything. Alarms aren't going off. But I'm checking availability reports on Mike Jackson from now until he plays 3 or 4 practices in a row.
Toe injury.
Don't love that. Actually, I need to know which toe. Do we know which toe?
I don't know. Ask Justin Fields.
Yeah, if we're rocking the second smallest toe and you're just like, hey, it's a little mildly discomfort, all right, fine. If it's a big toe, we might have issues. Big toe does a lot of work. Edge rusher Pat Jones also not practicing today, although I believe that's just an illness.
Yeah. You said Dave Canales said upper respiratory type thing going on. So you're like, you know what? Let's stay in the locker room, buddy,
and stay away from everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Else. There's that too.
Let's not have you laying in the middle of a pile coughing. On everybody else.
Actually, don't go to the locker room. Stay over there.
Go home. So there you go. That's kind of the tangible stuff. Now here's a question that we may ask later on, but this is probably says more about me than what's actually going on. Can somebody please tell me something bad about Tetaroa McMillan? There's no way he is this good and this flawless right out the gate.
He did drop a pass today.
Oh, thank goodness. I didn't see that.
Yeah, he dropped one pass today, Tim.
Thank goodness. I was starting to get suspicious. You know when when I don't know, your buddy's got a new girlfriend or something, and she's just perfect at everything, and everything is great, and we have so much fun, and it's awesome. And I'm going like, all right, they yell at each other when we're not around. Like there's no like. There needs, I don't know, she likes to sleep with the TV on. You don't, like, give me something so I know, like, you're living in the real world. Tedoroa McMillan was getting there. Every route, he wins. Every contested catch, he comes down with. Every day, the Bryce Young says how awesome he is. I'm like, can someone tell me a mistake? He dropped a pass. Thank goodness. I hadn't seen that yet. That makes me feel like he's human. Nobody's perfect. Now go be great. Now go be fantastic. But I felt like everybody was hiding something from me. Like they all behind the scenes had some flaw that they're like, nobody talk about the fact that he can't turn left or just something. Like he was full Zoolander out there. Nobody mentioned it. Now, if he dropped a pass, we're okay. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the big 3 at 3. And let's revisit number 1. NC State football. First day of training camp today. What is their training camp all about? Well, stick around to find out.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
At Bailey's, love not only sparkles, but it also gives back. Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey. Yes, we have high-quality certified diamonds that fit your budget. But did you know that when you say I do with an engagement ring from Bailey's, a donation is made to the food bank to help feed a local family of 4 for an entire month? Celebrate your love with Bailey's, where every diamond helps create a brighter future. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted the best place to buy your diamond.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The NC State Wolfpack first day of training camp is today. Knocking the cobwebs off, getting the first day jitters out and playing football, or at least practicing football. About a month until their first game. What is their training camp about is a very simple question. Like, what about their training camp do I think is still kind of up in the air, or am I still worried about? Because every team has a few guys where if they have some bad practices, or if a certain position group doesn't play great, you go, I'm not really worried about them, right? They've proven it. They'll get there. State, and by the way, yesterday was Quarterback Tuesday, so we did a lot of breakdowns on C.J. Bailey. If you want to go check that out, you can find it in our archives, back on YouTube, back on podcasts, everything else. So today we'll focus obviously on everything but quarterback. The offense to me for NC State is pretty much set. Kurt Roper taken over as offensive coordinator. He is promoted from within, so you wouldn't expect terminology to change, even if the plays he calls are a little different. They're still, right, if you're going to run a post, it's still called the same thing that you used to call a post, right? The same schemes are called the same schemes. Maybe one or two position battles on the offensive line. Maybe you have to decide the rotation at running back. Hollywood Smothers appears entrenched. Duke Scott is somebody that Dave Doran highlighted to us at ACC kickoff as somebody that is Jaden Duke Scott, nicknamed Duke. Maybe a player that could have a larger role than we're expecting. So you got to figure that out. But you're fine with that kind of stuff, right? As you bought the house, you decorated it. You just got to decide the curtains, right? We got small decisions to make. The defense, on the other hand, is a mystery. DJ Elliott, their new defensive coordinator, comes in, and this is part of the gift and the curse of having Tony Gibson as your coordinator for so long. Tony Gibson played that very distinct 3-3-5 system, right? That is a 3-3-5 defense that is not played very often, and you had a lot of success with it.
At times. There are some state fans who were not big fans of it.
I think you're about to hear some of the reasons why. One, the 3-3-5 is difficult to prepare for other teams because they don't see it very often. Their scout team is figuring it out on Tuesday and have to give you a fastball look on Wednesday. It's a weird curveball. Elliott comes in with a more traditional scheme, although still kind of base alignment 3 down, but it's a 3-4 alignment where you have 3 traditional linemen, 3 traditional linebackers, and then 1 tweener, kind of like an edge rusher / coverage linebacker. And then obviously the secondary kind of lines up more traditionally. That is inherently a different – you need different skill sets at certain positions, right? You might not have the true gigantic nose tackle if you're playing in some – hybrid 4-down fronts because now you're getting more on a shade, you're getting out on the guard. We don't have to get into the nonsense of it, or coaches would say the sense of it, but it's different. And then you mix in the fact that when we talked to Dave Doran about position battles, the question was very open-ended. I said, Dave, I don't know, I didn't say it like I was yelling his name before I asked it. I said, Coach, what position battles are you looking forward to in training camp? And his answer was basically the defense.
Yes.
He said on offense, right, there's a couple positions on the offensive line, but the defense, there might be a couple guys that have their position pretty much sewn up on the defense. And he brought 2 with him to ACC kickoff. So it's like, all right, cool. We got Brandon Cleveland, we got Caden Fordham. If you say there's a couple guys with their spot locked up and you brought 2 to represent your team, I think I know which 2 you're talking about, Coach. And even if a couple to him meant 3 or 4, that's still a lot of players who are battling just to be on the field. And then once you decide who's the starter, who's getting most of the reps, you decide who's that next guy getting into the rotation, right? Do you have who's your nickel? Do you have a pass rush specialist getting in there on 3rd downs? Do you have those sorts of things? So the defense, to me, it's not only, us judging quality, which is what it's been for a long time, right? When you have the same guy running the same scheme on defense, it's, hey, Peyton Wilson left. Do you have a linebacker to fill that role? Do you have somebody who is at least 80% of Peyton Wilson that can cover up some of the things that he covered up? Right? When you lose a player or when you graduate a class that lost their eligibility, the questions are more quality-based. Do you have guys that are good enough to step up into those roles? This year, it's not just that. It's what is your role? It's how many guys do you trust? It's is the scheme custom to these players, or are you going to have a bunch of square pegs trying to fit into round holes for the first year or 2 until you can turn over and get DJ Elliott's guys handpicked into the defense? And then once all of that happens, then you hit the quality questions. Now that you know the roles, now that you have the depth chart, now that you have figured out which guys are going to be playing in or out of position, now are they good enough? Now are they good enough to lock up some of the best offenses in the ACC? And then once you answer that question, you go find Kurt Roper in your offense, and you let them know whether they need to be prepared to score 35 or 25 this year. What are we looking at?
Well, I think that's the big thing you have to wonder with a new defensive system and so many position battles. You have no game reps to actually prepare. It's one thing if you had a preseason game or a joint practice where you can watch tape and be like, all right, guys, we need to adjust this and do these kinds of things. You have to figure it out on the fly. You literally might be at the end of the first quarter and just go, all right, guys, scrap everything that we just planned during this whole week because it's not working. We need to learn it. We got to learn something different on the fly. It's games 1, 2, and 3 of the regular season are going to look so much different than 4, 5, and 6.
And all of it, right? I'm trying to think of an example. Oh, I have the example we were using earlier. Dennis and I were talking about the wide receivers for the Panthers, and we were talking Jalen Coker. For those of you that follow the Panthers, Coker had an 80-something yard touchdown catch. Well, it was right at the end of a half. It was 82, 80.
Against the Dallas, 83 against the Dallas Cowboys.
There you go. It's a blown coverage. Okay, Jalen Coker. The knock on him coming out of the draft was he just didn't have the top end speed. I don't think that guy is going to have a bunch of 80-plus yard touchdown catches in his career, right? He's not Deshaun Jackson. Now, in a game, you take that, right? In a game, 80-yard touchdown catch, I don't care if the defense had 9 guys all rushing the quarterback from the left side. They were so not on the right page, right? Like whatever they want to mess up, you accept. But in a practice, if the defense isn't on the same page, if a guy's playing a new position so he does something wrong, if they're confused on the calls because they're changing the system, the scheme, and the offense has a great day, that's not helping anybody. Right? You need your defense to be on their P's and Q's, so they force your offense to be on the P's and Q's. In practice, the only thing a blown coverage touchdown is good for is for the offense to talk trash to the defense. That's it. It doesn't help anybody. Or you could say, getting embarrassed in practice, I guess, would make that defensive player, not make that mistake in a game. But the offense is being lulled into a sense of explosiveness. Right? If Jalen Coker is catching a whole bunch of 80-yard touchdowns in practice because the defense is confused, he might mess around and think he's, Tyreek Hill. He's like, I catch all these 80-yard touchdowns in practice, gets in the game when there's not blown coverages. He's like, you know what? I get caught from behind a lot when the guys are within 20 yards of me when I catch the ball. So the defense, it's the ultimate team sport, right? You can sing the skeleton song, right? The ankle bone's connected to the shin bone's connected to the knee bone. Like, it's all connected, right? So if your defense, because it's all a mystery and because it's so new and because there's so many position battles, if they're not on top of it in training camp, your offense is going to have an overinflated sense of worth going into the season, and it's not going to help anybody. No pressure, DJ Elliott. Just install a new scheme, figure out about 9 position battles, go up against an offense that is mostly returnees, and do it well enough that you're ready to roll week 1, which, by the way, is 4 weeks from tomorrow, which seems like a long time, right? 4 weeks, training camp? It's really not. If it takes you a week to iron out, say, 4 position battles, 2 weeks to get them all hammered down, 1 week to make sure the leadership and the play calling and everything is right, and then your game week. And then once you're on game week, it's a treadmill set to 100. You're just running and trying to keep up.
By the way, real quick, this is for everyone out there that's watching on YouTube or wants to participate in the show in some way, shape, or form. We actually have a poll on our YouTube live chat. Which football team will have the best season, NC State, North Carolina, or Duke? Right now it's even 38% for both NC State and Duke, 25% say North Carolina.
So vote.
Yeah.
And then jump in the comments and explain why, right?
Sure.
Make your argument. Tell us why everybody that doesn't agree with you is wrong.
We should get ACC predictive order of finish later on today, by the way.
That's the ACC media poll, which is conducted at kind of starting at the ACC kickoff every year. Some of us put a lot of work into it, so we're darn sure talking about it. We should get, as you mentioned, the team order of finish preseason poll today, and I believe we get all ACC teams starting tomorrow. So we'll pass along that info as we get it here on The Drive. We have the Dean's List that we're also going to pass along. This is our own honor. This is our own award that we give out. I still put a lot of thought into it, so we'll get to the Dean's List coming up next.
Hey, Daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day. and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Sports can be unpredictable. Your elevator shouldn't be. That's why you need Metro Elevator, Raleigh's hometown team for expert commercial elevator service. Locally owned and operated, we specialize in keeping your building moving with top-tier repair, maintenance, modernization, and installation. Our highly trained technicians deliver fast, responsive service to ensure your elevators run smoothly. No surprises, just results. Trust Raleigh's own Metro Elevator to keep you moving. Learn more at metro-elevator.com/Raleigh.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe to our YouTube, please. Dennis was just talking about a poll up there. I don't know if we told you how to find it. Just search for 99.9 The Fan, our live stream. There's polls in the comments and conversations in the comments and everything else. And we also occasionally do a feedback frenzy where we bring those comments right here on air. So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Please subscribe. And right now, please pay attention because we bring you the Dean's List. Dean's List, those people in directly or indirectly related to college sports that deserve a few extra accolades, a little extra praise. We do this every day about this time. I'll get us started. Duke secondary. Duke football secondary. So we're also in firm watch list season. Okay, we got, Butkus Award watch list, Thorpe Award watch list, Maxwell Award watch list, Mackey Award, like all of these watch lists coming out. The Jim Thorpe Award goes to the nation's best defensive back. There are 4 players on the initial watch list from the Atlantic Coast Conference from the ACC. 2 of them are from Duke. Half, you could say. I'm on-air math. How about that?
Yeah, look at that.
2 out of 4.
Well done.
It is Terry Moore and Chandler Rivers. Terry Moore, the safety, Chandler Rivers, the corner, are both named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list. Avion Terrell from Clemson and Isaiah Nwokobia from SMU are the ACC representatives. So, that right there should tell you, at least from a top-heavy national award kind of standpoint, the defense with the biggest and brightest stars in their secondary in the ACC is Duke. Also, we'll just throw quickly out there Andrew Simpson, UNC redshirt senior linebacker, because he's the only ACC, or one of 8 ACC, but the only from a school in the state of North Carolina. 8 ACC players have been nominated for the Butkus Award, which goes to the nation's best linebacker. So on that initial watch list, Andrew Simpson from UNC is there. Nobody else from a school in the state of North Carolina. There you go. Do you have a Dean's List you'd like to throw out here, Dennis?
Well, I was going to throw Andrew Simpson's name out there.
Sorry.
So we
stole your thunder.
You know what? Shout out to him.
I'm going to throw this one out there because I guess you could say like UNC, I think it was a fan account, so maybe not even their marketing team. I'm going to throw UNC football players in the NFL on the Dean's List.
Okay, go on.
They put out a graphic with like a what do they call it? A carousel of pictures where you can swipe through. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew individually they were North Carolina guys. I didn't realize how many former North Carolina guys are some of like the most anticipated players for me to watch in the NFL. Non-Panthers edition, right? Obviously, we watched the Panthers. But just the first three were Drake May, who I'm like, oh, you know what? Drake, he's potential breakout. They got him some wide receivers, drafted the big offensive lineman. That could be a really good one for him. Travion Henderson, dump downs out of the backfield. Went one more, Omarion Hampton. I was like, oh, gosh. Jim Harbaugh wants to run the ball a ton. Najee Harris dealing with some medical stuff. And they have two of the best offensive linemen in the league. When you talk about Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt on the tackles, I'm going like, Omarion Hampton could surprise some people as a first-round running back.
And a coach that loves to run the football.
Jim Harbaugh, especially like the Omarion Hampton type, right? He's 220 plus. He's not a little scat back trying to beat you with finesse all the time, although he can.
He's tailor-made for that offense.
And then I swipe Josh Downs. And I'm like, Josh Downs.
Colts.
So talented. Colts wide receiver. Last year had some of the advanced analytics that basically said this guy is balling and the quarterbacks can't find him. If Anthony Richardson takes the next step, I'm like, could Downs be? Like, they got Pittman. They have Adonai Mitchell. They have a few other guys up there, but it's like, could Josh Downs be a number one in an NFL offense? And if Anthony Richardson doesn't put it together, Daniel Jones steps up, and he's probably a better passer than anything Richardson has shown. So Josh Downs, I'm like, that's fascinating. Then maybe lesser but still interesting, Javonte Williams with Dallas.
Yeah.
That's one where, I mean, he obviously underwhelmed in Denver post-injury, but he goes to Dallas, and I'm like, all right, maybe he'll fight for a bet. They really didn't do much at the running back position.
They got Miles Sanders.
Then drafted a fifth-round pass-catching specialist in Jaden Blue out of Texas. Javonte Williams might be the lead ball carrier in one of the most explosive offenses in the league.
Might be.
De'Ami Brown in Jacksonville. Low-key excited for that one.
Okay.
There's obviously Brian Thomas Jr., and there's obviously Travis Hunter. I just have this weird feeling that Travis Hunter isn't going to be able to play, at least initially, a full contingent on offense and defensive snaps, right? The guy, he's unbelievable. He tried to nickname himself the Unicorn. You can't do that.
Corny.
But also you can't give yourself your own nickname.
Exactly.
But he is, like, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's unreal. I believe he was worthy of the second overall pick. But I think De'Ami Brown is going to kind of be running the Travis Hunter role when Travis Hunter can't play offense. And I don't think they're going to call different plays. It's like he might be the guy taking advantage of all the attention on Brian Thomas Jr. when Travis Hunter can't be out there. And that's super valuable. Liam Cohen, the new head coach of Jacksonville, he needs two dudes, right? He's Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And then when Chris Godwin got hurt, he's Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan. Like, it could work out there. And then, all right, last one here, just because I'm breaking it all down. Low-key could be an impact player, right? This is like, if you go around saying, Tim predicted this guy to have a big season, I'll go, no, I didn't. But if he has a big season, I'm going to go, and I told you, right? I'm just fully upfront with that. Sam Howell in Minnesota. If J.J. McCarthy maybe has an injury deal, or if J.J. McCarthy doesn't, like, if he opens the door, we saw what Sam Darnold could do with that Minnesota offense. Tell me Sam Darnold and Sam Howell, for whatever reason, physically, talent-wise, they've got some similarities there. I mean, Darnold, I think, bigger arm and everything. But little like, hey, if they put it all together, it just might work. If you give him Addison and Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson and a couple of good guys out of the backfield. And I think they drafted a decent wide receiver as well. Like, if you give Minnesota everything to Sam Howell, watch out.
I saw Tez Walker was getting some love today from the Baltimore Ravens social media. Some catches that he was making, former UNC wideout.
I probably would have put Tez Walker on here if they didn't just sign Rashad Bateman to an extension.
Sure.
But I was a fan of Tez. I mean, I think he probably gets drafted earlier and has more opportunities if he doesn't go through the situation he went through at UNC with eligibility and everything, which sounds so ridiculous now based on how you can transfer like 1 million times and nobody cares anymore. And he was, had to have like direct quotes. What's the notarized from his grandma trying to play? It just sounds crazy. All right, last member of the Dean's List for today. It's actually a day on the calendar. I put together my calendar the last couple of days. Saturday, November 4th.
Okay, go on.
It is the first triangle fall solstice.
I'm sorry, the what?
Triangle, it should be sports solstice. Triangle fall sports solstice.
Okay.
That is the first day this calendar year, or this fall season, that all 3 triangle football teams and the Carolina Hurricanes play on the same day.
Oh, nice.
NC State hosts Campbell.
Okay.
UNC hosts Clemson, kind of a big game. Duke is at Cal, so that'll probably be a late game, so we can get through all this and then throw on the Duke game as a nightcap. And it's preseason, but still, Canes at Nashville, 4 p.m.
And what day is this? October 4th?
Saturday, November 4th.
November 4th? That's already into the regular season for Canes hockey.
Maybe it's October 4th.
Yeah.
I wrote down November. That could be me not reading the calendar correctly. And Wake at Virginia Tech that day as well. I know it's not triangle, but hey, Wake's kind of an honorary member occasionally.
Let's go.
It's a lot of really good. That's might be a 4 or 5 screen day. You might have to get the laptop out, the extra and the multi-screen on YouTube, and another screen to get the Canes game.
Hey, depending on kickoff times and start times and puck drop, you might just be able to sit down and just watch all of them in their entirety.
How awesome would that be?
Hey, you got a noon kick, you got a 3:30 kick, you got a 7 o'clock puck drop, and then...
By the way, it is October 4th.
Okay, and then or 7:30, 8 o'clock puck drop since it's out in Nashville, and then you get the late night kickoff. You just sit down and watch everything all day.
Be sure to stand up and stretch.
Yeah, right? That's what halftime's for.
Saturday, October 4th. Pretend we go back and I said October 4th from the very beginning. November 4th, definitely not a Saturday. But it is a preseason Canes game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Dean's List. Obviously, I would not have made the Dean's List. No, not a lot of honor rolls based on my ability to read a calendar. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have more audio for you coming up next. Jackson Blake, the latest Carolina Hurricane to commit long-term, signed an 8-year contract extension in addition to the remaining commitment he already had on his entry-level deal. 9 years committed to the Carolina Hurricanes. He spoke to the media. We have the audio next.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Why world-class? Because it has a crisp and superior taste. That's world-class. It has only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. That's very world-class. So, if I'm seen drinking it by association, am I world-class? Oh yeah, Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Thomas Rhett, Better in Boots Tour 2025. What's someone as beautiful as July 31st, Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh. International country music superstar Thomas Rhett. Don't miss the tour of the summer. With Tucker Wedmore. I'm gonna wind up missing you. And Dasha. On sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series. Thomas Rhett's new album, About a Woman, out now.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Played off here, Jarvis. Goss to spare, tees it up. High side of the net. Blake tries a chance, and he scores! Jackson Blake deflects it past Logan Thompson. And another power play goal, and it's 4-0 Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Jackson Blake, long-term extension with the Carolina Hurricanes. Not that long ago. What was it, like July 24th at 10:30 at night?
Yeah, it was late.
Just a little. Here you go. 8-year contract extension. Roughly $5 million, a little bit more per year.
5.625.
There you go.
But the cap hit only 5.125.
There you go, because of deferred money, which isn't even going to be allowed in about a year. Jackson Blake, long-term contract with the Carolina Hurricanes, fresh off a impressive, if not the most impressive rookie year you could possibly imagine. Solid, earned like a slow burn, earned more responsibility throughout the year, and did enough to obviously impress the coaches and GM to get the deal we just described. And then on the other side, the team must have done enough to impress the player and the player's agent to be willing to sign an 8-year extension, which tacks on to the end of his current deal means a 9-year commitment to the franchise. Here's Jackson Blake on why he felt this was the right time to sign the long-term deal.
I was super honored to even receive something like this. I mean, a year ago today, I probably, would have told you you're crazy. I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to make the team out of camp last year. So, I mean, I kind of knew right away when they offered around that, I was, pretty much sold. I mean, to have 9 more years, hopefully, in Carolina, I love it there. Obviously, I've only played 1 year there, and but it's kind of easy it was an easy decision for me to make the commitment, and I mean, obviously, they showed the commitment too on their part. So, super fortunate and super grateful to receive it, and I'm pumped up.
Jackson Blake, the Fargo, North Dakota born, Eden Prairie, Minnesota raised. Decade of commitment to right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. He's only been here for a year, obviously playing in the AHL prior to, and I believe at North Dakota as his college hockey, but prior to that. This feels like a fair market deal, although the term obviously is something that entices the team. I think if the player could have done the same on a 6-year contract, would have given him a chance at a bigger deal later, but now the team gets a little bit more stability. I like the deal. Now the question is, where do you go from here? And I want to be clear, this is not just a one-way street. I'll explain what that means in a second. But Jackson Blake was asked earlier today when he was speaking with the media. Dennis, I believe you asked this question on basically if my favorite phrase, or one of my favorite phrases, with great money comes great responsibility, like, is that true? Where are the standards for him going to go now that he's on the long-term deal and they have committed a bunch more money to him? Here's Jackson Blake.
The expectations do go up, and I mean, I would have expected more from myself regardless of the contract or not for this year. And, I thought last year was pretty good, but I mean, I always strive for better, and in every single area, whether it's points or defensive zone or more dominant and stuff like that. I wouldn't say there's one specific area that I'm looking at. I'm kind of trying to check all the boxes there.
So here's how I take that. One, players are always striving to be better. They always want a bigger role. That's the way they're wired. If they weren't wired that way, they wouldn't be where they are. If they were content with success or content with a solid season, they wouldn't be in the NHL. They would have had a really good high school season somewhere and stopped improving. So my question is more the opposite direction, right? With all this money, Jackson Blake, do your expectations go high? If he's like, yeah, whether I got the money or not, I'm going to try to play better. My question becomes, and sometimes this is the deal. Actually, first of all, I just want to use this example because I researched it, or I saw it earlier and I wanted to bring it up. The NFL Network right now is at Broncos training camp. They had a conversation with Pat Surtain about how he can surpass last year. He was the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. I don't know, NFL MVP.
That seems really like that's – if they're talking to the Defensive Player of the Year about like, so last year, where can you get better? Not saying it's a dumb conversation. I'm saying if that conversation is happening, you're darn right Jackson Blake's expectations are going up. That's the way NFL players and NHL players are wired. Now, going back to my second point, I do think sometimes the dollars drive the usage, right? There are points, and I've talked with a few professional athletes of this where they might be outperforming somebody in practice over and over and over again, and they're getting more and more mad about not getting the playing time until eventually, like a wise old veteran or a trusted assistant coach will pull them off to the side and go, that guy's making $15 million a year, right? You're making 1.25. It doesn't matter how much better you are than him. That guy's going to play because this is professional sports. Right? Sometimes the dollars drive the usage because you have to, right? The partnership between front office and coach is you have to kind of use the roster the way we designed it. And then within that, you can coach it up unless there's right, obviously like a super high paid guy who stinks, then you can change it. But, we did right before kind of all the football stuff got started. We tried to iron out all of our ridiculous offseason arguments, right? Just all of the bar discussions you have about the Canes. We tried to iron them out. And this was before the Jackson Blake extension. And one of them was, what are your ideal lines, right? If the season started then with the roster as it is constructed, who's skating with who? And one of the more popular responses we had at Jackson Blake is a fourth liner. Does this contract change that at all? To where, like, are you really going to have 9 years and 40 some odd $1 million committed to a player and have them skating fourth line minutes? That is a very different discussion, right? It's one thing to have entry-level guy who are still deciding on skating with, if he develops, then yeah, we'll pay him down the road. It's a whole other thing to say we've already taken this big swing on Jackson Blake to be a long-term part of our core. It's almost like now you kind of got to find a spot for him a little bit higher up in the rankings. And who does that knock you down? And that has absolutely nothing to do with Jackson Blake's expectations for himself, but it has everything to do with, I got to see my money on the ice. So if he goes up, who's coming down? Or does this make it a more okay deal for him to go up there and play winger and move one of those wingers to center? Right? It's a little bit different. I don't think you go this aggressive with a long-term deal for a guy who you don't think is ready pretty soon to take on a pretty big role.
We saw him last year playing top line minutes. For long stretches.
Granted, there's, Ehlers changes that up in a few.
Oh, sure.
Like it's not the same team as last year, but I think they're comfortable with it. But one of like the joys of seeing everybody's kind of lines when we were discussing it was going like, how good is this forward group if Jackson Blake off of that season is skating on the fourth line?
Yeah.
Like part of it was there. Now I'm going like, okay, can that same thing be true if instead of, if instead of Blake, who's down there on the fourth? Like, that's basically my question is, if he's just like priced himself out of the neighborhood of the fourth line, right? He makes too much money. He's going to go get a mansion down the street. Who moves into that fourth line neighborhood or downgrades to that fourth line neighborhood becomes a really interesting question.
First world problems if you're Rob Brindamore.
100%.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't have enough spots for all these guys as opposed to going, I don't know who's capable of even making an NHL roster, but I got to find it with somebody.
And we've been saying it's you're right, that first-class problem with who's going to be your 13th forward. Now you have it like at levels. Now you have who's going to be the 13th, the healthy scratch, who's going to be fourth line, who's going to, like, there's suddenly, and I don't want to say, because I think it's actually enjoyable for a lot of these guys. They like it. I don't know if they like it long term. But suddenly that like third spot next to Stahl and Martinook is like prime real estate. It's like that's you're not getting lost on an identity line, a checking line. You're now it's like, hey, you know what? You got to be pretty good to be on this line because there are even better players skating fourth line minutes. Eric Tulsky, quickly here, he also spoke to the media, and we're going to have audio from him throughout the show, including he stopped by our network, talked with Adam Gold earlier today, but this from his open media availability on how easy it was for him to make a bet like the long-term deal on Jackson Blake.
Look, there was never a question that we would be happy to do something like this with Jackson. We've gotten a couple questions about development on this call, and I don't think people appreciate how he has gone from high school to the USHL to college to an NHL fourth line to an NHL top line and not missed a beat. Like every step he's made look easy. And it's because he's such a professional and works so hard. You asked about training. Like last summer, he was one of the players setting the pace for our group in Raleigh. And I just, it's easy to make bets on someone like that. And the way he plays, he brings a tenaciousness, a tenacity to his play on the puck, along with the skill level we look for. So it's an easy question to do this.
That is, and we've highlighted that, and I should have said it earlier. Like the board battles and just the possessing the puck and winning those things is something that Jackson Blake, despite being a little undersized, does at a surprising rate.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's a battle in the corner along the boards for the puck, and here's Jackson Blake comes out with it. I was like, how? Once again, he comes out with the puck.
It is, again, it's the thing that the Canes have bet on so many times. There might be a smaller player out there that other teams are going, well, he can't possibly be a good enough NHL player. He's undersized. And then the Canes are like, but what if he does everything the big guys do well, better than the big guys? Would that be something you might be interested in? Right when the physicality goes up, it seems like his play goes up as well, to an extent. That's not uniform forever and ever, but physical battles against the boards, he does come out with the puck more often than you'd think, which I think is part of the reason why they were comfortable making this kind of bet. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of, today could be like a time machine show. A week ago, we were talking a lot about the Jackson Blake extension.
We were.
A week ago, we were also talking a lot about the fact that Josie Jewell, the most veteran kind of trustworthy linebacker on the Carolina Panthers, was surprise released on the doorstep of training camp. Those conversations have gone quiet. A little too quiet? Football at 4 coming up.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. If you're in the market for a mortgage, good luck. Comparing apples to oranges is now more challenging than ever, as we've noticed a return to 80s-style lending with multiple points being charged up front in order to make the payment appear more attractive. Typically, the lowest rate quote you find will have the highest closing cost you'll find, as numerous lenders play this game of getting you to focus only on the payment and not the $15,000 due at closing. On refinancing, it's even worse, as lenders willingly add these costs to your loan amount. At Miller Lending, we don't believe in closing costs. By working with our popular no-cost program, you simply close on today's rates and refinance anytime you'd like. Nothing rolled in, nothing charged at closing. Imagine having the freedom to take advantage of smaller rate drops, opportunities to drop PMI, or simply put that money to better use. So before you throw away thousands of dollars in needless fees, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender on MLS number 250-2146.
I thought I'd book a trip to Italy to celebrate retiring.
We didn't speak Italian.
We didn't then. We do now. Because of Babbel.
Babbel is the refreshingly easy-to-use app for learning a new language. Babbel uses immersive lessons to teach you vocabulary and grammar in a way that sticks. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday temperatures near 90 degrees with highs in the mid-90s and the heat index around 105. Another heat advisory, another WRAL weather alert day for today. Isolated storms in our southern counties today with a better storm chance Thursday and Friday afternoons. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 140 points to 44,490. Market update brought to you by Bolton Construction Services. Bolton is actively hiring experienced HVAC techs with a $2,500 sign-on bonus. As a family-owned leader in HVAC, Bolton puts people first. Don't miss out. Apply now at boltonservice.com.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Panthers linebackers, and I'm talking traditional linebackers, not the outside linebackers that I used to call defensive ends. Edge rushers is the new term, right? It is an interesting place for the Carolina Panthers. The kind of inside linebackers, if you will. As of right now, if I look at the depth chart, the starters I'm slotting in are Trevin Wallace and Christian Roseboom. Think about this organization. Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Dan Morgan, right? We go on and on and on down the list. Shaq Thompson as recently as a couple years ago, pre-injuries.
Frankie Louvu.
Like this is a group this is a team that so often their identity was built kind of from the linebackers elsewhere. If Christian Roseboom and Trevin Wallace are your starters, no disrespect to those guys, they got a long way to be mentioned alongside any of those names I just mentioned. And you might even say other positions have to give them a little bit of help covering up for what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, no Sam Mills lining up over there.
Sam Mills, I mean, obviously another great one. And if you look at the backups, Claudin Cherilus, he's got 19 career games, 28 tackles. Jacoby Windman, we're talking 8 games, 13 tackles. Bam Martin Scott, who's getting some love as of recently, is an undrafted free agent rookie out of South Carolina. John Radigan played 3 years, 36 games with Seattle, 32 tackles. Last year, 16 games with the Panthers, 12 tackles. That's
all special teams.
That's not a lot of experience. Now that is so basically what I'm saying is a week ago, Josie Jewell, it was revealed that he was going to be released, and there was nuance, right? There was quite a bit of the medical stuff, the concussions, and he could come back if this happens, but he hadn't passed protocol. They talked about restructuring a deal. They didn't get, like, there was all of that. But the nuts and bolts of it is he's no longer on the team. And that was kind of a bummer. It was right before training camp practice started, so we immediately did what I just did. You look at the depth chart. Well, okay, who steps up? Okay, where's the depth? Okay, who's going to be the green dot, meaning the guy calling the plays and communicating? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Then practices started, and we're like the distracted 4-year-old, right? Ooh, squirrel. Did you see one-on-ones? Oh, Bryce Young threw it to Teteroa McMillan.
Hunter Renfro.
Hunter Renfro. Did anybody see how fast Jimmy Horn Jr. is? I'm sorry, were we talking about linebackers? I completely forget what we were talking about, right? It's still right there. Nothing has changed. So to me, it means one of two things. One, it's a pretty big bet on those guys we just listed, starters and backups, right? Pretty big bet that that group can do something that we really haven't seen them do before, which is part of being a GM and part of being a coach, right? Is looking at a player, what they've done, what their assets and traits are, and projecting if they can do more. Number two would be there's something in the works, which would mean they are navigating the entire league. They are looking, they are predicting who may be cut, who may not, who may be available in a trade, who may not. Are there different position battles elsewhere in the league where if one guy loses, he could be a cap casualty, and then maybe they're looking for it. Here's what I need from the linebackers. I need solid. Right? I'm sure there is going to be a temptation to bring up those guys we mentioned. Kuechly, Davis, Morgan, Mills, Thompson. Right? Bring up those guys who were special, who did more, who did extra. I don't need special. I don't need more. I don't need extra from the linebackers. I need you to do the job. Without going full Bill Belichick, do your job. I used this earlier today off air, and I'll say it again. It was, I think, supposed to be some kind of a knock on like millennials and Gen Z, but maybe not. There's a post going viral on social media that was about a young woman that interviewed for a job. And she basically walked in point blank, said, listen, I'm here for a job. I don't have any interest in upward mobility. I'm not ambitious. I don't want to be the general manager. I don't want to be the VP of anything. I want to come in at 9. I want to leave at 5. I want you to give me tasks that need to be done during that time. And that's it. I want my paycheck, and I want raises based on inflation, right? I just don't want my money to be less. I just want to come in, do a job, leave. I don't want anything else. And they were hired on the spot, basically saying, like, we need more of those. We need more pawns in business, because if everybody thinks they're going to be the general manager, there's nobody really just cranking out TPS reports. You know what I mean? There's nobody just doing the thing, making the product. If everybody wants to be in the conference room with the big glorious opportunities for upward mobility, where you think if you come up with the greatest idea ever, fast track to the C-suite, there's nobody out there, just grinding through the day-to-day things that need to get done.
Just tell me what to do.
And
that's it. Just tell me what to do.
I think there's a weird part of that story, which I'm sure is made up, and it's social media, made for clicks, but a weird part of that story that kind of applies to like a team sport, right? You can't have everybody out there trying to make 1,000 highlight plays, right? You need to have that special it factor to do the Ed Reed thing and bail on your assignment because, you have the instincts that say the ball's going over here and go try to make a play. If everybody's doing that, it's chaos. Sometimes you need a linebacker who fills the gap that they're supposed to fill, and if there happens to be a running back standing there, makes a tackle. They don't have to, I saw the look in the quarterback's eyes, and that meant he was going to throw it to the tight end, so I bailed on my gap, and I drove back, and I made the interception. If Luke Kuechly wants to do that, go for it, because Luke Kuechly is pretty resoundingly by everybody that's ever played with him, called the smartest linebacker they've ever seen, the smartest defensive player they've ever seen. So if he has a moment of instinctual recall to film where it's like, oh, that running back leaned left on the motion, they're definitely running the double pass. Luke Kuechly can do that. Christian Roseboom, go fill your assignment, right? Go do the basic things. It's a space within their defense that I think can be done by even though they're not this at all, like a blue-collar worker. Show up, make the tackles you're supposed to make. You don't have to cover for anybody else. You just do your job and let Derek Brown be special, and let potentially some of these young edge rushers see if they have the it factor to go make the crazy plays. J.C. Horn, Trevon Merrick, these are the guys that'll do the above and beyond. You make 110 tackles this year with none of them being of the crazy variety. Just 10, 8 tackles a game of when you're within an arm's distance, you get the guy on the ground. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We got a little, is this breaking news here? Let's fire it up. Now, Dennis, you may have more info on this than I have. I only have what Paul Ihander sent us. Shout out to Paul Ihander, host of Next Up every morning, weekday morning here on 99.9 The Fan. The ACC media poll has been revealed. Clemson to win the ACC?
That is correct. Clemson received 167 of 183 first-place votes. So Clemson predicted to finish first in the ACC. Number 2, Miami. Miami got 7 first-place votes. Number 3, SMU. Got 2 first-place votes. Number 4, this one actually might surprise you here.
I was going to say, pretty chalky so far.
Pretty chalky, relatively. Number 4, Georgia Tech got 2 first-place votes.
So they tied with SMU there.
Yeah, in terms of first-place votes, but finishing fourth overall. Number 5 was Louisville, 6 Duke, 7 Florida State, who had 4 first-place votes. That's clearly people betting or picking based off of solely their name brand, not
and
actually how
recruiting
they
rankings, even though that doesn't always translate.
It does not. So 7 Florida State, number 8 North Carolina, 9 was Pitt, 10 was NC State, 11 with 1 first-place vote. I want to know the stooge that did this. Virginia Tech. What stooge out there voted Virginia Tech first in the ACC this year? I want to know. Reveal yourself.
Maybe they thought it was wrestling or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Even
I
still,
don't know.
wouldn't even choose wrestling either.
Say, I don't know. I don't think they have that.
I think State would probably crush them in that regard.
National champion, one player a couple years ago.
Syracuse 12, Boston College 13, Virginia 14, Cal 15, Wake Forest 16, Stanford 17. So local teams here in the Triangle.
I was going to say, I missed UNC. When did you say?
North Carolina was 8th, right there behind Florida State. So Duke was picked to finish 6th. North Carolina was picked to finish 8th. NC State picked to finish 10th. Wake Forest picked to finish 16th.
I would say not the most favorable look at the teams that we cover. I think as far as the range that those teams could be ranked, probably all except for UNC. UNC might be near the top of the range I would expect from them. Everybody else is near like the bottom of what I would have considered for those teams. Right? Wake Forest probably should be in the 15th. Like I think they're bottom 3.
Yeah, they're 16th.
Yeah, so but their range being 15 to 17, I think 16 is obviously right there in the middle. For Duke, I think their range is probably 4, 5, 6-ish. So the fact that they're 6 is bottom end of the range. State is probably 7 to 10-ish. So they're sitting at 10. That's pretty low. UNC, I think they're just such a mystery. I think 8th has a lot of, well, it's Bill Belichick. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That's tough though. I can't say I agree with a lot of that.
Where did you have ranked?
Off the top of my head, I could go look it up for you. But I had the top 3 as it sits, as they had it with Clemson, Miami, SMU. I had Duke, I think 5th. I didn't have Georgia Tech that high. I want to say I had Georgia Tech 6th. So who am I? Florida State 7th. I'm missing someone.
Louisville?
I had Louisville 4th. That's exactly who I had, which is a big bet on Miller Moss, which I didn't love, but I saw right before I submitted it, I saw some stats on him pushing the ball downfield. I think I had State 8th. I had UNC 10th, I think. So flip them, and then Wake 15.
I had Carolina 8, NC State 7.
Okay.
I had Duke 3rd.
Wow.
I had Duke 3rd. I'm not very high on Miami this year because Miami had a non-existent defense last year, and you just lost your top receiver in Xavier Restrepo. You just lost your top tight end in Arroyo, and you had the number 1 overall pick in the draft just leave as well in Cam Ward, and you're bringing in Carson Beck, who struggled last year at Georgia and is coming off a major elbow injury as well. I don't know what to expect in that regard. Or I'm sorry, I guess I should say I don't expect high from Miami. I really don't, because let's be honest, they just simply outpaced teams with their offense last year. I don't see their offense being near what it was last year. So I actually have Duke 3rd, because Duke's schedule, they have Clemson on their schedule, but after that, every game's winnable. Now, Georgia Tech's going to be a difficult out for them, but that's something I took into consideration as well. I had Clemson 1, SMU 2. I had Duke 3. And then I have Miami 4, then Louisville 6. I had Georgia Tech, and then I had State, and then UNC.
I mean, I think there's, and this is kind of what I was talking about with range of outcomes. There does seem, at least for how I put it together, 4 tiers of kind of what I have in the ACC. And as long as the tiers are kind of in order, I don't really have a huge gripe. I think there's a top 6. I think there's 7 to like, actually it might even be 3 tiers. 7 to like 13, and then 14 down are kind of the way I look at this in bunches. It's really hard to be more, I don't know, passionate or committed than that with the transfer portal, because teams can get so much better or so much worse so quickly. Teams like Miami, you brought up all the things that they lost, but then you look at some of the transfers they brought in, and it's like, well, shoot, it seems like they're replacing a lot of that talent as well. And I know that's where Florida State's getting their love, although I wasn't as high on them. I think 13 of their 22 starters are brand new transfers. So they're just betting on talent there, which, by the way, worked for them the year they went undefeated and got robbed out of the 4-team CFP. A whole bunch of transfers in that one as well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll continue to break that down throughout the show. We also have a ladder challenge and a new segment. We'll do some blind rankings coming up next. Stick around.
How about a little taste of NFL football? The Pro Football Hall of Fame game. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Herbert throws it in the air. Catch made. McConkey takes it all the way for the touchdown. 86 yards.
Detroit.
Jamison Williams gets a block, breaks a tackle, 20, staggers to the 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Detroit!
And Thursday night at 8 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Discover the thrill of precision and elegance with Omega. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of space, Omega's Seamaster and Speedmaster collections are crafted for those who dare to explore. With a heritage rooted in innovation and a timeless style inspired by sports, space, and cinematic legends, Omega is made for every adventure. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Voted Best Jeweler. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, we have a few points of business to get to. We only have 2 more days, 2 more shows in the month of July.
That's right.
So we got to finish out a ladder challenge here. And then I feel like August will be more of a traditional ladder challenge. There's been a lot of moving parts here. But either way, I'm back down to $10 because like a week ago, Nafisa Collier didn't score 25 points against the Chicago Sky.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to. It happened. It was a week ago. Take my word for it. Dennis, how much money are you up to?
I'm at $27 because Shohei Ohtani hit a home run for me.
Oh, look at that.
At plus 170 at the time.
All right, so you have 2 more days. What you get to go first? What's the strategy? Are you swinging for the fences? Are you trying to take a knee, play prevent? What's the move?
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one here for me. Let's be honest, because I'm like, do I play the prevent? Do I go ahead and go for another plus money? What's the strategy in this regard? I'm actually going to go to Major League Baseball.
All right.
And I'm actually going to pick a little bit of an upset. Colorado Rockies, who stink. They're playing on the road at the Cleveland Guardians. Give me Colorado Rockies at plus 145.
Just straight up money line?
Just straight up money line.
Any reasoning for it?
No.
Vibes? All right. What was plus 145? So I actually have to make up some ground here. Maybe I'll save it and just go all out tomorrow because mine is not that aggressive. I'm getting Shohei Ohtani 2 or more hits versus the Reds today. He's pitching today. And,
is he hitting too?
Yeah. I mean, he traditionally does. It seems a lot like when he pitches, he helps his cause, if you will, which he's the only guy that can do that. And also, there's a joke amongst people that bet on golf that if Scotty Scheffler bogeys, you should bet the house that he's going to birdie the next hole. I have, and it's just kind of a like anecdotal observation. I haven't done any studies or statistical analysis of this. But if Shohei doesn't pitch well, if he gets pulled early and gives up some runs, it's almost a guarantee he's going to hit like a home run later on. He's going to try to take that loss off of his pitching stats, and I guess he's that good that when he locks in, he can almost kind of choose to do it. So get 2 hits for Shohei. Plus 155 will turn my $10 into $25.50. And then tomorrow will be the final pick of the month, and we'll see what the strategy is for both of us tomorrow. That's the ladder challenge. Now we have a new segment here. Test driving it, taking it for a spin, seeing if it's something we want to keep around. So if you really like it, let us know in the comments on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Something we call a little blind ranking. So for those of you that haven't seen these, this is like a game that is done online quite a bit. Blind ranking means you're making a top 5, okay? You have a 1 slot, a 2 slot, like first best, second best, third best, all the way through 5. You get the category, and then you get 1 entry. So if we were blind ranking pizza toppings, you'd just go, all right, pizza toppings, and then somebody would say pepperoni, and you'd have to put it 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 without knowing the next 4 that are coming. And then you look at the deal when you're done and see if it works. If you haven't seen it, if you're still confused, you'll catch on. Dennis, as the game show host, if you will, category for today is?
We're going to blind rank ACC football teams in honor of the ACC football preseason poll being released today. I want you to blind rank where you think these teams will slot in. Now, again, you don't know which of the 17 ACC football teams I'm going to give you.
So again, I'm reading body language. I'm trying to figure out if he's got an ace in the hole, if he's trying to do me dirty, if he's saving a really good team, and all those things.
All right, let's go ahead and start off with Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. I don't think you're going to put an entire 5 of just like also-rans. So I'm throwing Georgia Tech 3rd.
Okay.
Just because I have a feeling you're gonna throw some of the headliners. I like Georgia Tech. I like Brent Key. I really like Haynes King as a just kind of a leader. We talked with Rutherford, their wide receiver at ACC Kickoff. Kind of told everything that I expected about that team. He had one of the best, like, it could be a rap lyric or something like that. I asked him about Haynes King as a leader, their quarterback, Haynes King. And while discussing his teammate and how great he is and how hard he works and how tough he is, he threw the line, if you aren't following God, you're following Haynes King, which is a heck of a bar. So Georgia Tech, led by Haynes King, putting him number 3.
All right, so you have Georgia Tech 3. Let's go ahead and go with Florida State.
Florida State 4. And
okay.
I'm okay with that. Florida State 4. I think the hard part about college football when you go full transfer, I think this is a challenge for UNC as well. And any team that kind of turns the whole roster over, is 2 losses is kind of like a death sentence in college football. And then you start having guys check out, particularly at a school like Florida State where it's always national championship kind of go. You lose 2 games early, you can get that downhill going against you momentum pretty quickly. And if you have all new transfers, it might take you a month or 2 just to figure out like how you play best. And if by that point you lost 2 or 3 games, like that last month of the season could be ugly for you. So I'm worried about Florida State's chemistry early on, and then how that lack of chemistry early on impacts their buy-in as the season goes along.
All right, next one here. So you have Georgia Tech slotted in at number 3. You have Florida State slotted in at number 4 right now.
I'm nervous. I don't like it in blind rankings when you have only like the top and the bottom, because it starts to get hairy.
Duke.
2.
Okay.
I'm very much backing myself into a higher low corner here. I like Duke as a like true contender in the ACC. They're in that top tier, I said, of like 6 teams. I think a lot of it comes down to who their playmakers are offensively. They lost a surprising amount of production in 3 guys. Star Thomas, running back, who's at Tennessee now after entering the transfer portal. Jordan Moore and Eli Pankel, that were both undrafted free agent NFL players. If you take those plays, those playmakings away from their offense, they need some sizzle. So if they replace that, I could even be low on Duke. But that's a big, like, if. Right? If they can just replace their 3 best playmakers on offense, then they'll be great. But that's easier said than done.
Okay, so you have Duke 2, Georgia Tech 3, Florida State 4. Now you have to decide where you're going to put NC State.
I did not do this well.
That's why it's a blind ranking.
I got to go 5. I don't think they're better than Duke. I don't think they're 5. It feels like 5 is last, but it's not. It's not last in the ACC. It's last on the list. Like, they could be middle of the pack in the ACC and be 5 here. You've thrown some of the better teams. I don't see anyone in the true bottom half of the league on this list yet, which means I'm definitely getting Stanford right now, because all I have left is the number 1 slot.
No, I would not do that to you. Next one.
Just curious of blind rankings. Do you ahead of time decide the 5 you're giving me, or are you freestyle on this?
I picked 8 schools.
Okay.
And I'm randomly picking 8 schools,
All right.
or out of those 8, I should say.
Okay.
All right, so you have Georgia Tech, you slotted in at 3. Florida State, you slotted in at 4. Duke, you slotted in at 2.
Mm-hmm.
NC State, you slotted in at 5. Again, on the blind ranking, and the final school, which gets the number 1 spot, is the University of North Carolina.
I don't think that is earned. I should have seen it coming that you were going to have all 3 triangle teams. That's my flaw. I should have seen it coming that I had all.
There's no guarantee, though.
I know, but I'm just looking. I'm looking inward, right? I'm watching the film and deciding how I got here, because I don't like the 5. But that's the blind ranking of it. By the way, if this comes true, if this is how it all breaks down, they're in that order at the end, I will take credit for it, even though I don't like it right now.
Genius.
UNC 1, Duke 2, Georgia Tech 3, Florida State 4, and State 5. State fans are going to see that ranking and not know the context and be furious.
Yeah, blind ranking.
That's blind.
That really is. That's why they call it a blind ranking.
That's there was this is not as bad. I'm not going to say it's this bad, but in like it was like 2002, we'll call it, maybe 99, I don't know, dunk contest. There was, I forget who it was, but a dunker put on like a headband around their eyes to say they were blindfolded, and it didn't really look like his eyes were completely covered. But then he went up and did a dunk where he tried to dunk it like 4 feet in front of the rim and just threw it down to nothing. And it was like, oh no, he definitely couldn't see. We thought he could see, but that definitely he could not see because, if he would have dunked it, we would have just like, if it went in, we would have been like, oh, he wasn't real blindfolded. But the fact that he messed up that bad proved that he was blind. I think that proves that I was blind, leaving that one spot open. I'll get better. We'll watch the tape. I'll get better. That's blind ranking here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We have about, we got some time here. So let's go ahead and hammer out a little hit it and quit it. We got something coming here. There it is. Hit it and quit it, where we line up some of the biggest stories in sports. Talk about them. Knock it out. Get them out of there. AKA hit it and quit it. Dennis, what are we starting with?
We have the NC State basketball is going to the Maui Invitational. I think it's officially announced now. They are playing Seton Hall in the Maui Invitational, which I think is kind of cool that NC State's going to go one of these big early season tournaments that gets a lot of attention, to say the least. I think it's really cool that NC State's going to be part of that. I always will say this, though. NC State should be part of the Jimmy V Classic.
Facts. Okay, yeah. There's multiple things to
couple things there
to respond to here. You will not hear me arguing that they should against them being like, I will not argue against them being in the Jimmy V Classic. Matter of fact, like Chaminade is the perfect example. For those of you that don't know, the Maui Invitational is hosted by Chaminade, which is a tiny school out there in Hawaii, best known for when Ralph Sampson was at Virginia and they were #1 in the country. I think they were playing an exhibition in like Japan, and on the way back just stopped in Hawaii basically for a couple days in the sun and a scrimmage. But the scrimmage was a real game against Chaminade, and Chaminade won. It is one of, if not the biggest upset in college basketball history. Chaminade is always in the Maui Invitational, or at least they were for years. I don't know if they are anymore. That should be State. State should be the host of the Jimmy V Classic. They should be intertwined with it. Jimmy V's brother and family and anybody else involved should be there and celebrate it every year. Same is true, by the way, for UNC and the Jumpman Classic, right? If Jordan's involved, UNC should be there. Like, kind of lean into your histories a bit there. But Maui Invitational, taking a step back, looking at it in a vacuum. I've talked about using the schedule as a tool, right? If you are a college basketball team, what games are going to be memorable for your players? I can guarantee you going to the Maui Invitational is one that your players 5-10 years from now, that's not going to be blurred into other games, right? You're not going to go, oh, remember when? Was that when we did the... Wait a second. We played... Okay, was it Louisville? No, there's not going to be that. It's going to be... We played Seton Hall. It was in Hawaii. I remember it vividly. If you're going to play non-conference games, that's why I really like when teams go to... what was it? When they went to Kansas. Who went to Kansas last year? Was it Duke? Duke went and played at Kansas. You go play at Kentucky. You play in some of these arenas that are super memorable. Go play at Madison Square Garden.
I think Carolina went to Kansas, but yeah.
Carolina, okay. Either, same thing, right? I like when you use your games as a tool to make it more memorable for your student athletes. So the Maui Invitational is cool. I will say they are on the tougher side of the bracket. If you look at odds to win the national championship, NC State has the shortest odds to win the national championship of anyone in the Maui Invitational. USC, who was on their same side of the bracket, second shortest odds to win the national championship. On the other side, Texas is next. Then you start getting to like the Arizona State, kind of Boise State realm. So there's better teams on NC State's side of the bracket. They'll likely face Texas if they make it to the championship.
It's not the sexiest Maui Invitational, though. Not only when Carolina played in it last year. mean,
I won't say
not blaming NC State in that regard. I'm just more or less saying.
Yeah, I mean, State, big fish, small pond. Maybe they're the draw. Hey. Will Wade's the star.
Hey, you know what? Rack up a couple wins out there. Get a couple good early season wins against a couple good teams.
Learn how to win a championship.
Yeah.
Learn
3
tournament
games
play.
In 3 days.
That's all great experience. If I were a coach in college basketball, once a year, I would schedule probably early in the non-conference schedule, a home and road non-conference game against opponents we are not familiar with, teams we do not play often, and it would be either a Friday, Sunday, or a Thursday, Saturday, and I would literally dress rehearsal the NCAA tournament. Right? I would not tell the players much about the second team until the first game was over, and the travel would all be kind of like on the run. Like I would do a lot to make them used to that type of play. Playing 3 games in 3 days, that's hyperspeed, right? That's swinging a baseball bat with a donut on it to make it heavier. That's even more hyperspeed than the NCAA tournament. So I like that for State. And I grew up in Hawaii, so if you need recommendations, let me know. Let's quit that. Let's hit this. ECU football going to Northwestern in 2027?
Yeah. Just a little one-off game.
First of all, probably getting paid for it, which is always nice.
Might be.
Second of all, similarly, those games, as somebody that played FCS, playing the level above, right? If you're a group of 5 team playing a power conference team, if you're an FCS team playing a group of 5 team, something like that, playing, what is seen as the level above, having at least one of those opportunities a year, I think, is important for the motivation of your team, because every single player that isn't at a power conference school thinks they were under-recruited, thinks, oh, they didn't see what I am. They missed. I was a diamond in the rough. It's all because my coach didn't throw me the ball enough. And these games give you a chance to go prove it, right? If you're ECU, you go up there and you destroy Northwestern, even if it's an individual. Like if you just have a good game, take that Big Ten, right? At the University of Delaware, every time we played an FBS school, if you had a big game, you felt a bit kind of like like backed up, like told you. It's cool. It's a big moment, and those games are ones you circle on the calendar, and it's part of the motivation.
I'm thinking it's an opportunity if you are, for example, in East Carolina, if you're an App State that gets invited to one of these games, though App State now no longer gets invited to go play in these games after all the upsets that they've had.
Yeah.
But if you're an ECU, we saw them play at Michigan just a couple of seasons ago, not that long ago. How much of this is an opportunity for you to tell guys that you might be trying to recruit a 2-star guy that's from Ohio or something like that? Hey, guess what? We're going to come to your area while you're playing here. So it's, we're gonna kind of go home for you, if that makes sense. You can draw that 2-star away from like a MAC school or something like that.
And I mean, if you want to take it even further, try to schedule them somewhere where one of your assistants has some connections.
Yeah.
Right? Like, John Shire always scheduling a game in Chicago where he's from, right? So he already has a little recruiting edge, and then he can say, oh, by the way, we're going to play like down in the United Center, whatever the heck. Like, you can really use your schedule as chess rather than checkers.
I used to do that when I was coaching. So when I was coaching at Carthage College, which is just south of Milwaukee, we had players from Oregon, Washington State, California, Colorado. And one thing I tried to make sure when I was scheduling is that once in your 4 years that you're here, we're going to come to your home area for games. And we actually played, my first year at Carthage, played a couple games in Southern California. So my girls that were from California, their families, it was a lot easier for them to come because I had a couple girls from the Bay Area, a couple girls from Southern California, and it was a lot easier for their families to come watch a game as opposed to always coming up to Wisconsin.
Makes sense.
It works.
Yeah,
it definitely does work.
Use your schedule as a tool. I get so, it's like, okay, when you just play, a directional Michigan school at home, great. I hope you win, right? It's like, all right, when that could be a recruiting tool or an experience for a cool experience for your players, it's use the schedule. Use everything at your disposal because, everybody else is. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
The Charlotte Hornets.
See, the NBA is going to start playing some regular season games overseas. In 2026, the Magic and the Grizzlies are going to play a game in Berlin and London, if I remember correctly. But they're going to have some games scheduled out. I think it's 6 games over the next about 3 years or so, where there's going to be games played overseas. Copying the NFL. And also, the National Hockey League's been doing this for a little bit, too.
How in the world is the NBA one of the last to this?
Great question.
That is, where's Adam Silver? I've got some questions. Because they are, actually hockey in a different way, right? But NBA is a global sport. If you look at the last bunch of MVPs, right? Jokic, Embiid, SGA, Giannis, none of these guys born and raised in America, right?
It's been since 2018, James Harden.
And it all kind of stems from, right, if you are a historian of the game, from the Barcelona Olympics, right, the 92 Dream Team. Mm-hmm. And that sparked a global wave of basketball. And since then, really, for sure, the NFL and other professional leagues have been chasing the NBA in their global appeal, right? Now the NFL, I guess you could say, is catching up. They're playing games in Berlin. They're playing games in London. They've played games in Mexico. They've played games in Brazil. Whatever. I'm sure the next CBA is going to come with, the next collective bargaining agreement in the NFL is going to come with 18 games, probably 20 weeks, so every team gets 2 byes, and every team has to play an international game every year. I would almost guarantee it because they're chasing the NBA in global appeal, and they're catching up. Because guess what else is happening? What's going to be in the Olympics, this upcoming Olympics?
Lacrosse.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. 2028.
That's not what I was going for. I was going for flag football.
Flag football, yeah.
Right? The basketball's been in the Olympics for however long. And now football is gaining on them. So it just seems like, I don't know, was this a little tortoise in the hare? Where the NBA was so far ahead, so they started messing around and not really working that hard on keeping their global appeal. Now the NFL's just and Major League Baseball and the NHL have just been one international game at a time, one international fan at a time, been closing the gap, and now suddenly basketball's like, oh, geez, we got to get going. Let's get to this. Cartoon hair is what I was going for there. That was that voice. Little tortoise in the hare action there. That is just bad business from the NBA.
Well, they're catching up. Because, again, the NHL's been doing this for a little while now.
NHL different because there are, I would say, certain pockets of international, of other countries, where the NHL's number one. There really aren't certain pockets internationally where, like the NFL, American football is number one, but they've just been chipping away. But there's also areas where ice hockey just isn't feasible internationally. So it's like, are they a global sport? Well, anywhere it's cold they are, but is that global? Probably not. So hockey's a difficult one for me to kind of quantify. But basketball, football, baseball, they're all chasing global domination from American sports.
If I'm the NBA, I'm sending the Spurs over to Paris. Yeah, because I got Victor Wembanyama. I'm sending him over to Paris. Absolutely.
What you need is, and the NFL has this with the Jaguars, you need a team that is willing to almost have like a second home. Because like London, there are Jaguars fans in London because they know they're going to be there every game or every year once or twice. I can buy the jerseys, I can hang out, I can buy the pennants and everything and celebrate them. Say the Spurs are a good one because they have such a strong international presence. But say you're just going to the same international city for 2 games every year. That's good business by the NBA team because then you open up a whole other market to merchandise and everything else. And they'll all be buying NBA League Pass to watch your team because you go out there twice a year and make all these new fans. It's just good business. NBA's slow-footing it. Half-hearting it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know who's not slow-footing it? Who said, I only needed 1 year to prove my worth, and I'm signing a long-term deal? Jackson Blake of the Carolina Hurricanes. And a move like that, guy coming off his rookie contract, committing to the team for 9 years, having the team commit to him for 9 years, not only says a lot about the players, says a lot about the strategy from the front office. Eric Tulsky, the GM, spoke today, and we'll hear that audio coming up.
Evan, Kenty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Are the Detroit Lions really as close as we think they are?
Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are right there. And I believe in the culture that head coach Dan Campbell has built in the Motor City. Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are going to be right there again, vying for NFC supremacy. And I think this is one of the best teams in all of football.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Why world-class? Because it has a crisp and superior taste. That's world-class. It has only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. That's very world-class. So, if I'm seen drinking it by association, am I world-class? Oh yeah, Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Sports can be unpredictable. Your elevator shouldn't be. That's why you need Metro Elevator, Raleigh's hometown team for expert commercial elevator service. Locally owned and operated, we specialize in keeping your building moving with top-tier repair, maintenance, modernization, and installation. Our highly trained technicians deliver fast, responsive service to ensure your elevators run smoothly. No surprises, just results. Trust Raleigh's own Metro Elevator to keep you moving. Learn more at metro-elevator.com/Raleigh.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It takes a lot of guts to operate as a general manager the way that Eric Tulsky operates as a general manager. And that's not just in one avenue, right? That's not just in one part of the job. The trades he's made have been fearless. Trading for Mikko Rantanen without a commitment from Rantanen on a long-term extension when you made the deal, bold. Trading away Mikko Rantanen like 6 weeks later and knowing that the ridicule and or over-analysis of everything that went into that situation is coming your way, bold. Takes a little bit of guts, a little bit of intestinal fortitude. The contracts he's been able to negotiate. The trades, the trading for Keandre Miller and simply saying, I think he's going to be a lot better with us than he was with the Rangers, and we'll pay him like it. We could go on and on and on. Even going back to when he was an advisor with Waddell, some stuff that's a little bit bold. And then something like the Jackson Blake contract hits in the middle of the night like a week ago. Jackson Blake was a rookie this past year. Played well. As far as great rookie seasons go, Dennis, what are we talking? He had a solid
B.
Yeah, solid 80. I was gonna say 83. If you're given out of 100 grades, a solid season. But most GMs are gonna go, let's see what he does. right? We got him on an entry-level contract for another year. Let's see what he does. Some may say, let's try to get him on one of those 4 or 5 year deals, right? Let's lock him in, but let's also make sure if it goes south, we're not in too much trouble. Eric Tulsky goes, 8-year extension now, because we're only allowed to give 7-year extensions next year, and we want this dude locked in. And that right there is inherently a bit gutsy. If it goes south, like we all do it, right? A player starts playing poorly, you look at the contract, oh my goodness, we still have him for 3 more years. Imagine if it goes poorly. I don't think it will, but imagine if it does, and you look at the contract and go, we got him another 7 years. It's got him until my 4-year-old son now is knocking on the door of high school. That's how long Jackson Blake is going to be a Cane, or at least how long the contract is. And Eric Tulsky understands the risk of getting a deal done early. When he spoke to the media earlier today, he said as much.
Doing it early is a little bit of a transfer of risk from the player to the team, right? All the risk that he gets hurt, something goes wrong, whatever, is now our risk instead of his. And that's something that is helpful to a player who only has one career and only one contract. But to the team, we've got a bunch of these now. And, we're sort of the opinion that if we kind of aggregate that risk and, have a lot of players who we're comfortable making bets on, yeah, 1 or 2 of them, something's going to go wrong. On the whole, we're going to come out ahead by staying aggressive and putting ourselves in position to get things done and keep our core locked up and leave ourselves room to keep adding around them.
Here's the deal there, okay? I'm going to try to, and Dennis, correct me if this is if this isn't how you took what you just heard from Eric Tulsky. To me, it's like if every deal we anticipate being like a $4 million added value, we're going to get $4 million of good deal, and we have 5 of them, which would equal $20 million of extra value. One of them could actually be a bust and cost us $5 million, and we're still coming out $15 million in the positive, right? We're still, like, if every deal has this inherent built-in kind of value that they see, they will be so far in the positive that a few negatives won't hurt them, which is good. I mean, there's a reason why he is who he is. There's a reason why they're thinking the way they are. I would also open up the possibility of, and this is like the optimist in me, open up the possibility that they hit, right? Because that's when you end up, and I know nobody wants to hear these kind of words, and it's a big if, like 6, 7, 8 things have to fall your way. But if these deals, the Jackson Blake deal, the Seth Jarvis deal, the Jacob Slavin deal, the Nikolai Ehlers deal, the Aho deal, if these deals continue to look like great values and the players continue to take the steps that I think a lot of people anticipate them taking, if there aren't the 1 or 2 that turn into an anchor on the franchise, look the heck out. Because then you're for every $1 spent, you're getting $4 of value back on darn near the entire roster. So it is insulating yourself against 1 or 2 mistakes by signing so many of these long-term deals, but it's also opening up to you, what if they all go well? That's like a movie or television show therapy thing, right? Everybody always wants to say, what if it goes wrong? Well, let yourself wonder, what if it goes right? If Eric Tulsky's sitting there going, what if 2 or 3 of these go bad? Will we still like where our roster is? I think we would. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, well, what if all 6 or 7 of them just continue to develop and you got them on these long-term deals? Now suddenly your championship window is wide open. And that's basically what he says here in different terms. The team being built to win now and having the core locked up long-term is a good spot to be. Here's more from Tulsky.
12 players who are signed for at least 4 years. And, those players represent 65% of our scoring from last year, plus Ehlers and Miller added on to that. So we've got a core here that's, that is really solid. And the other thing about it, those 12 players are an average age of only 26 years old. So part of what we've done here, we've put ourselves in position where we know we're not going to have our core eroded by the salary cap because we've got the players signed and in place. We know it's not going to be eroded by age because they're not at a place where we worry about that yet. And we put ourselves in position to keep adding, and we have room to keep finding ways to bring more players in and keep building on this. And that's a rare opportunity for a team that's as good as we are and as good as we've been for as long as we have. To keep having room to take steps forward is an opportunity that I'm really excited about.
Oh, don't tempt me, Tulsky. Don't tempt me, Tulsky. Is everybody thinking the same thing? Second line center and goalie, right? You're telling me you still have purchase power? You still have room to add? Well, you look, you got Ehlers. You don't need wings. You got Miller. You don't need defensemen. Second line center and goalie, right? If you got the money, if you got the cash, now you just have to wait for the market. Jump to the last clip here. Eric Tulsky loves the way the team looks. But again, he's tempting me. He's still looking to explore. Here's Tulsky.
I think we have a great team the way it's currently constructed. I think we're always trying to get better, and we have the cap space to keep adding. We have future assets we can put into deals. Whether there's something that comes available before the season, during the season, I don't know. We will be on the hunt to see if we can find ways to make the team better. It's just a question whether that ends up coming together or not.
He's on the hunt.
He's cooking, man.
We need like the Jaws music. Dun, 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 dun. He's on the hunt. I mean, it truly is. Like the detractors are always going to be there when you look at the Canes, right? There are simply those analysts and hockey fans that they aren't in on the players the Canes are building around. Right? They just aren't Sebastian Aho believers. They aren't Seth Jarvis truthers, right? And if you're not there, you're not going to be there. But if you, like Rod Brindamore and Eric Tulsky, believe in those guys as leaders of this core, the sky truly is the limit with the way their contracts are lined up. And also, the cap is going up. The longer term the deal, the more at the end it's going to seem, quite frankly, like a fraction of how much it feels right now. Right? Do you remember when, and I'm always using football salary cap stuff as kind of, even though it's not the exact same. Do you remember when Patrick Mahomes signed his deal? 10 years, $450 million. And the world went nuts. Oh, the Chiefs, how are they going to? Well, guess what? Guess what? There's still a decent amount of term left on that contract, and there are a boatload of quarterbacks that aren't anywhere near Patrick Mahomes' level that are making way more than he is making. Simply because the cap keeps rising, and they put enough term on it. Now, what if that deal didn't start as a market-setting deal? What if that deal started as pretty reasonable? And you still get the benefit of the term and the rising cap to make it feel smaller. That's what a lot of these deals are getting with the Carolina Hurricanes. The Athletic put out a list of the 10 best contracts in the league as far as their perceived value analytically. Seth Jarvis had the third best contract in the league. Third best. They gave it a 100%, which I'm always nervous of hundreds and zeros when it comes to projections. But they gave it a 100%, technically 99.7, but they rounded up. 100% chance of returning positive value. They gave Seth Jarvis a 100% chance at bringing more value to the team on his current contract than he's being paid. Do you think 6 years from now, when he's still under contract, that deal isn't going to feel good? Jacob Slavin should have been on the list of 10 best contracts in the NHL. Same deal. It's a steal right now, and it's only going to age better. Are there a couple bets? Yeah. If Ehlers is more established, but if Miller, Blake, a few of those guys that are also tied up into these long-term deals reach the level above where they've been, watch the heck out. And then they can go hunting on a second line center and a goalie. I want to be on the hunt. I don't need to be I don't need to be the one pulling the trigger. I could be a guide. I could be the photographer there on your tourist hunting trip. I'll just walk along. I just want to be there for the hunt.
I mean, they've really put themselves in a position that most professional sports franchises want to be in. You have your core locked up that's still relatively young and are entering their prime years. Your young guys are locked up. You have cap space, and you have future assets and quality ones too, where you can literally do just about anything you want. Like, and you're a contender. Let's be honest, they're a contender. You still got to get past Florida, but you were in the conference final last year. You're a contender.
And you're better now than you were then.
Yeah.
Granted, there was a gap between you and Florida, to be quite frank.
Gap between Florida and everyone right now.
But you're closing the gap. You're better, and they're pretty much the same because they returned pretty much everybody, but they didn't add. It's an exciting time. I'm telling you, it's an exciting time. And actually, there's probably some apologies that deserve to be thrown at the Canes because I am in favor of going all in, but their discipline and patience has allowed them to be in a place now where they really can go in any direction they want. They can read the field, as I say, and take advantage of darn near anything. Hopefully to get a second line center and a goalie. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up next. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. Set you up, I should say, not yourself. They help set you up to, quite frankly, put yourself in the best possible situation you can be when getting your mortgage. Don't set yourself up to buy down a rate because you're so terrified of what that high interest rate looks like. So you pay thousands of dollars at closing to buy down that rate when the average cost of a loan, average length of a loan in our country is 4 years. And it's been that way for decades, which means on average, if you sign up for a 30-year mortgage, 15-year mortgage, whatever it is, you will pay it off, you will move again, you will refinance. Something will happen, on average, 4 years into the future, and that mortgage will stop. So if you buy down that rate, everybody knows, you do the math, right? You have to pay that monthly payment for a certain amount of time before it even breaks even on the thousands of dollars you paid to buy it down. Instead, let me offer you another option. Call up Miller Lending, use a no closing cost loan. No costs, no fees, zero means zero, no third-party surcharges or any of that. And be prepared if and or when rates drop at some point in the next 4 years or some point in the next 2 years or 5 years or 6 years, whatever the market does, refinance, get the lower monthly rate that you would have had to buy down off this rate, and no cost, no fees, no money out of your pocket. You get the same thing, and you didn't have to worry about, are we going to make it till we break even? It's a very simple deal that I believe makes it more likely that you come out ahead in the long run. Let Miller Lending explain it to you more. Give them a call. They're locally owned right here in Cary. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Let them know you heard about it right here from me. Or you can visit them online if you want to peruse their information at your own speed. MillerLending.com is the website, MillerLending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and NMLS number 250-2146. Starting five is coming up next. Today should be a holiday. I'll tell you why next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I keep getting the same question about, is Carolina done? I think Carolina is done for now. Too many teams in the NHL, 31 out of 32, actually think they're going to make the playoffs. So those teams are not giving away or selling off their best players. So Carolina will play the waiting game, and 2 months into the season, 3 months into the season, a lot of those teams aren't going to be in the playoff hunt. That's when Carolina strikes.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15.
First day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. It's a small chance for a shower or storm early this evening, then dry overnight, 76 to low. For your Thursday, here comes a cold front. Late in the day and into the evening, about a 60% chance for storms with heavy rain, the high 95.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 171 points to 44,461.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. Starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Two running back set. Bailey keeps. Bailey dives to the end zone. Touchdown! NC State. And now the fireworks go off on time.
NC State football opens up their training camp today. Or I should say opened up. They had practice already. They're already off the field and moving forward. Can I make a proposal to college football right now?
Okay.
I don't care. Different teams start different days. I think there should be one day when practice can start and everybody can hit the field at the same time, and it becomes like a holiday. Because what was it? Duke started 2 days ago. UNC starts on Saturday. State starts today. I want everybody on the field at the same time. I want it to be like, pitchers and catchers report day, and all of a sudden everybody's jacked up because, there's only so much adrenaline to go around where you're like, Duke's on, UNC's practice, NC State's practice, Wake Forest practice. But still, this year is a big one for State, for Dave Doran, if we're being real. A little post-hype sleeper action for NC State maybe, where last year coming into training camp, so many eyeballs were pointed at them because of the incoming transfer class. Some of them still hanging around and maybe a year of getting acclimated or ready to have their close-up. We're talking Noah Rogers. We're talking Justin Jolie, Hollywood Smothers. This year is an important one for State. We'll talk about where they are in the ACC media preseason rankings in a couple of minutes. But right, what's the proverb? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Today was that single step for this year's NC State football team because they're on the field for the first time. And it's, I know spring practice and everything happens, but even that modern football, I think, is pretty different. It used to be spring was pretty much the start, but now with transfer portal, guys leaving after spring, guys coming in after spring, it's a completely different beast. This is really the first time you look around and you go like, all right, this is my foxhole. This is who's rolling with me heading into the season. If you're not jacked up, I don't know what you got. 4 weeks from tomorrow, NC State opens up their season on a Thursday. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
On third down, shovel pass. Hampton here. Look at the room he has to run. Inside the 20, still on. Score.
Omarion Hampton is going to play tomorrow. Omarion Hampton, first-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Chargers, running back out of UNC, will play in the Hall of Fame game of the NFL preseason. Hall of Fame game, I believe, stands for nobody will take anything serious out of this game. It is a an extra preseason game. One might call it a preseason game. The first preseason games in earnest are next week, but as part of the celebration of the inductees for the Hall of Fame, they play one extra game. These teams have 5 preseason games rather than or 4 preseason rather than the 3 everybody else plays. It's the Chargers versus the Lions, and traditionally, anybody who is going to have a serious role in the regular season might warm up, might stand on the sidelines with shoulder pads, probably in a hoodie. Probably not doing much. A lot of laughing on the sidelines.
Yeah, a lot of guys, it's a little bit like, here's a little conditioning for guys that are definitely not going to play, and that's really about it. Like I said, maybe let's just go through our pregame routine just to get the feel of it, but that's really about it.
To put this in terms that the Carolina Panther fans would understand, Cam Newton would have his rib protector unstrapped and hanging off his back, and he would have a Gatorade towel over his head at the very first opening kickoff because he knew he wouldn't be going in. So Hampton playing is a bit different now because Hampton, by the way, first-round running backs get the ball a bunch, and Najee Harris's health is up in the air after a fireworks incident, and he's the backup running back or some would say the starting running back for the Chargers. So Hampton's health becomes even more important. I would be very surprised. I'm going to put the over-under at 2.5 carries.
Yeah, I might even go under on that.
It just sounded ridiculous to say 1.5.
Yeah.
But 2.5 carries. I hope it's more like procedural. We want to get you out there, we want to get you in a huddle. He'll be playing with Trey Lance. Remember that guy?
Wow, remember him?
Remember that guy?
That's a name for you.
Guys naming dudes. He is one of the backups fighting for a roster spot on the Los Angeles Chargers, quarterback-wise. But at the very least, he's a rushing threat, so that should help up Omarion Hampton get a little more crease, right? A little bigger hole for him to run through up front. I would assume any good day. Actually, let's put the goals up because we'll talk about this more tomorrow because, obviously the game is tomorrow. The goals for Omarion Hampton, number 1, stay healthy. Number 2, don't fumble. Number 3, stay healthy. That's about all you got. Because Jim Harbaugh is just a weird enough coach to give him 4 or 5 carries. And also, if he fumbles, put him in the doghouse for a long time.
True.
So stay healthy, don't fumble. That's all I'm looking for.
What if Nyheim Hines plays tomorrow?
I think there could be some Nyheim Hines action for the simple reason of maybe his own mental, go take a hit to show that you're back. Nyheim Hines being the NC State running back from a handful of years ago, who's bounced around the league a little bit, but he's been out. Has it been 2 years?
I think since 2023 he last played.
Got in a jet ski accident during an offseason. Prior to that, pass catching back, kick returner, there was a 10-year career looking at him, and he's trying to get back there. And he signed with the Chargers post Najee Harris injury. If he's going to make the team, he has to show in a big way that he is healthy. Right? Your last running back on the roster that makes the active roster has to be willing to return kicks, has to bring special teams, has to be willing to throw his body around. So he has to show he's healthy. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd put his over-under at 3.5 touches if he plays, and most of that just being get hit, get tackled, get back up. That's what he needs to show the team, because they can figure out if he's fast or if he's shifty a bunch of ways. There's only one way to test NFL contact, and that's in an NFL game, even if it's a preseason game. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Played off here, Jarvis. Goss to spare, tees it up. High side of the net. Blake tries a chance, and he scores! Jackson Blake deflects it past Logan Thompson. And another power play goal, and it's 4-0 Carolina.
Jackson Blake, we all know he signed a 8-year contract extension with the Carolina Hurricanes last week. He spoke to the media today, as did Eric Tulsky, the GM, about that process and that commitment and what it means and everything else. Dennis, I'm just going to let you know, a little heads up. After we hear this clip from Jackson Blake, I'm going to put you on the spot on some Jackson Blake questions. Here's Jackson Blake on the standards for him and if they're going to rise now that he has a 9-year commitment from the Carolina Hurricanes and a whole bunch of money. Here's Jackson Blake.
The expectations do go up, and I mean, I would have expected more from myself regardless of the contract or not for this year. And, I thought last year was pretty good, but I mean, I always strive for better, and, in every single area, whether it's points or defensive zone or more dominant and stuff like that. I wouldn't say there's one specific area that I'm looking at. I'm kind of trying to check all the boxes there.
Now I'm putting you on the spot.
All right, hit me.
Jackson Blake, I'll bring up the exact stats to make sure I'm not off at all. Jackson Blake as a rookie, 80 games played, 17 goals, 17 assists. That totals 34 points. He signs the massive deal. The team is committed to him for 9 years. He's committed to the team for 9 years. There's millions and millions of dollars that will be exchanging hands over the next 9 years. For this upcoming season alone, not the length of the contract, for this upcoming season alone, where's the bar for success for Jackson Blake? How good does he have to be to show that the standards rose and he met those standards?
I think this year, because again, he's still will be on his entry-level contract this year. I think 20 goals, 40 points. So basically get to 20 and 20, maybe 45, but I think that's a fair, and for a second-year player to be a 20-goal scorer and be a 40-point guy. And then you continue to expect the level to raise once the contract actually does kick in. I think 20 goals, somewhere around 40 to 45 points this coming year.
13 minutes and 51 seconds average time on ice.
I think that'll increase to about 14 and a half, 15.
I think just that alone should get you close to your like he doesn't have to be any more efficient. If he's playing another minute and a half,
yeah,
that almost gets you to the numbers you just gave out.
His expected goals per 60 minutes was second on the team, only behind Seth Jarvis. So just an increase in ice time over the course of the year will increase his goal total.
So I just gave you kind of a Cliff Note version of why maybe your numbers were a little low.
Mm-hmm.
If he is not skating with Aho and Jarvis for a large chunk of this season, obviously those point totals become a little bit more, you'd expect his efficiency to go down a bit if he's skating with guys who aren't the best kind of point producers on the team. Who do you see him matching up with as a line that can aid him in getting to 40 points and 20 goals?
I would like to potentially see a line of, if let's say Stankoven moves to center, I would not hate seeing a line of Jackson Blake, Taylor Hall, and Logan Stankoven. And then having Andrei Svechnikov play with Jordan Stahl and Jordan Martinook, which he's done before and has been very effective on that line before.
And so
I wouldn't hate that.
So that second line, Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven, Jackson Blake.
Wouldn't hate it.
I don't hate that either. That's a lot of new blood there. I mean, none of those guys were on the team, 16 months ago or whatever it is.
No, they weren't. I honestly,
I don't know why I went that far back. It's not even Jackson Blake. Okay.
Yeah, start of the year.
Yeah.
But I would also throw in there. I mean, if you want to put Andre on that line, that makes sense as well because someone that's a little bit of a heavier body, even though Taylor Hall's not a small guy either. So I can see. Again, we're playing a little fantasy here in this regard, but
yeah, that's what we're doing.
Exactly. But I mean, honestly, I think Jackson Blake needs to skate in a middle six role. For sure.
I like putting Hall there simply because, and I'm not the first to say this, but I think Hall sees the ice at an elite level, even if his physicality is not what it once was. I love him throwing little pearls of wisdom, little nuggets of hey guys, listen to the old wizened veteran over here. To Stankoven and Jackson Blake, right? I want, when Hall's career is long over, I want him watching hockey and seeing Stankoven and Blake scoring goals for the Carolina Hurricanes and taking a ton of credit on I laid that foundation with those fellas way back in 2025. Like I want that kind of deal happening. I think Svech could do that as well. I just think Hall is a bit better suited for it based on where he is in his career. But I'm open. Now that Blake has the long-term commitment, I'm open to a lot more iterations of lines than I was. It just seems like now he's going to be moved up, and that opens up a whole, you got to get the whiteboard with the magnets out and move them around and see how it looks. I'm open to more line combos than I was. That is number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us. There's the shotgun snap. 4-man rush. Young with time. Sends it deep downfield for Thielen. Makes the catch in the end zone for a Carolina touchdown. Go.
Carolina Panthers training camp ongoing. They had practice earlier today. Today, and it feels, because we don't, I have to say it feels like, because we don't get every rep, right? I wish we had access to the live all 22 of practice, the coaches tape, but we don't, right? We only get clips from what the media is allowed to take footage of, which isn't the whole practice, and so we're getting, small bits, and we're trying to connect the dots. But it did feel like today the defense bit back a little bit, which is unusual because traditionally, in football sense, at the beginning of training camp, the defense is ahead of the offense because the offense is more about fine-tuning and timing and chemistry and working that out. Meanwhile, there is an element of defense, which is see ball, get ball. Right? You can always result to playing man defense, a.k.a. dude. I got that dude, you got that dude, you got that dude, let's play. But the offense, at least from a highlight perspective, was getting the better of the defense at the beginning of camp. Today felt like a very big swing back in the opposite direction. J.C. Horn's making plays. J.C. Horn absolutely locked up, which was not a great rep, by Xavier Legette earlier today. Shaw Smith-Wade made a few plays on film. From reports, we didn't see the clips, but there were some interceptions had during the team portions. I like that the defense kind of at least appeared to, with our piecing together of the crumbs, appeared to win a practice when the offense was doing a lot early on in camp. Let's hear what Dave Canales had to say on Shaw Smith-Wade. Let's jump to the Shaw Smith-Wade clip here, because unless they make moves, Smith-Wade definitely has an opportunity on this depth chart to make some waves in the back defensive backfield, secondary. Here's Canales on Shaw Smith-Wade.
His understanding of the schemes, his communication, all those things. Now we're seeing the personality, and I love this. Again, something that I keep coming back to. When I start seeing personality, I know they're comfortable with what we're doing, and that's a I got to give a lot of credit to the coaches working with these guys, but these guys putting in the work, and being able to continue to grow in their roles.
We don't know what happens behind the scenes. Shaw Smith-Wade is doing something that makes everybody buy into him. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but the game tape last year was pretty good. I don't know if it was as good that I would expect them to be so dependent on him coming into this year. But again, we don't know what he's showing around the facility. We don't know the type of guy he is. He must be pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, and when I went to minicamp back in June and when training camp last week when we were there, just talking to people in the organization about him, just kind of a little off the record, and there's a lot of high praise for how much he grew from last year to this year.
And we talked with his college coach, Jake Dickert, who's the new coach at Wake Forest, about him. I'm trying to think. You hear these questions about startups and stuff where, he kind of had a loose business idea, but something about him just made me want to, venture capitalists, just made me want to give him $10 million to build this company. I was betting on him. What? How? I don't know. He had something. It seems like Shaw Smith-Wade's a little bit of that, where it's I don't know. The film was okay. We drafted him in the 5th round, kind of liked him. I feel the need to give him 80% of the snaps in the secondary. So what? Really? Yeah, there's something about him. Just like the guy. Turns into Uber, right? That $10 million turns into now I own 7 islands. Well, because I took that gamble. Maybe that's him. Maybe he's, I don't know, Zuckerberg. This metaphor has gotten out of hand. Let's jump to number 1. ACC preseason media poll released today. Dennis, you have the details on it. I know you do because you tweeted them out. Give the people the predictions from the media on how the ACC football season will play out.
All right, predictably, Clemson picked to finish number 1 overall. 183 votes, media votes. You and I each had a vote in our own. Clemson received 167 first-place votes, so picked to finish number 1 overall.
I'm actually surprised it's not higher.
I am as well.
On paper, which you don't play the games on paper, but you do make predictions based on what you see on paper. On paper, Clemson there's a gap.
6 schools, by the way, received first-place votes. Clemson, number 1, 167 first-place votes. Second, Miami. They received 7 first-place votes, and they actually, in overall total points, just edged out number 3, SMU. SMU had 2 first-place votes. The total points for Miami was 2,679. SMU 2,612. So, Vin, a very narrow margin between number 2 and number 3. Very close between 4 and 5. Georgia Tech, who got 2 first-place votes, they had 2,397 points. Louisville was picked to finish 5th overall at 2,370. So, again, close between 2 and 3, close between 4 and 5. Then Duke was picked to finish 6th. Florida State picked to finish 7th. They actually got 4 first-place votes and a relatively close vote as well. Duke had 1,973 points. Florida State, 1,920. So, again, a close gap that we're seeing there. And then there's a bit of a drop as we get to number 8, which was actually North Carolina. UNC picked to finish 8th overall. Pitt picked to finish 9th. NC State picked to finish 10th overall. Now, North Carolina, 1,611 points. Pitt, 1,571. NC State, 1,505. So, again, we're kind of seeing, getting a feel of where a lot of voters rank these schools. Virginia Tech somehow got a first-place vote. I don't know what stooge out there picked Virginia Tech to get number 1 overall in the ACC, but Virginia Tech 11th with 1,412 points. Then Syracuse 12, Boston College 13, Virginia, Cal, Wake Forest, Stanford to kind of close things off.
There's a few things, right? First of all, there's nothing super duper egregious. There's no, aside from maybe that one first place vote for Virginia
that's
Tech.
extremely egregious.
But as far as the ranking goes, like, I could argue State should be higher. I could argue a few teams. Like, you can make those arguments. I think it's mostly like a confidence rating on where they are. Like, I am nervous about SMU at 3, even though I put SMU at 3. Because, I don't know, first year kind of beginner's luck. They had, their schedule wasn't super daunting last year. They lost Brashard Smith. Could they do it again? There's like Clemson 1 with a stamp. SMU 3 with like, okay, but I'm not super confident. There's a few of those, right? Similar with like Louisville being, I think I have Louisville 6th. Or I forget off the top of my head, I can't really do that. But Louisville in the top 6. I have them in that 6th tier. I'm still like, I don't know, right? A lot of transfers. You got to depend on Miller Moss. They kind of worked with Tyler Shuck as a transfer incoming and really playing well with Brom leading the way, the coach. But, I don't think you can just bank on that every year. I don't think you can just say, we're going to get a transfer quarterback and they're going to be awesome every year.
It's not easy.
It's not, even if it appears easy once. Similar with Miami. We brought in Cam Ward. He was physically gifted, number 1 pick. This year, we bring in Carson Beck, physically gifted. It's going to go the same. Like, I'm not as confident there. But it is hard to argue with all of the talent that Miami brings in. So there's certain teams I'm very confident in with where they are. Like, I think Duke in the top 6 is solid. I think Louisville probably has, should be in the similar range. But I am not nearly as confident, even though I do have them in a similar range.
I'm extremely bullish on Duke. I have Duke 3rd in my preseason poll. And I had NC State 7 and North Carolina 8.
I'm surprised UNC's over State, but I have a feeling that is quite a bit of teams that maybe don't follow the triangles closely, or voters that don't follow the triangles closely.
I mean, there's the Bill Belichick hype's a real thing. I mean, there's a reason why Florida State got 4 first-place votes. I'm like, last time I checked, the year that they missed out on the college football playoff, even though they're supposed to be in, is the anomaly year based on recent Florida State football. Let's be honest. Call it what it is.
Do you want to know the craziest part? They're picked 7th. You could argue that's a little low. You could argue that's
way too high.
Very high. You could there's shades of gray there. If they finish 7th, I think their coach loses their job.
Yeah.
And you could argue they're picked higher than they should be, and if they achieve that ranking, their coach will be fired. That's a tough spot. I don't know if I'd want to be Florida State's coach, aside from the fact that you get a ton of money, and when they fire you, you get even more. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab our numbers game contestants, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, maybe you're struggling with some high-interest debt. Maybe you're maxed out those credit cards. You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is outstanding. One Loan Pronto client recently got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a pretty massive turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Here's the thing. Your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to get the conversation started. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's time for the numbers game, so we need 2 contestants. Right now, call in 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game. The prize going to the winner for today, a $25 Autobell car wash gift card. So you get the glory of winning and a very clean car. It's a win-win if you can win. To win, you have to call in now. We need 2 contestants. 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
Move your sports day forward.
A public service announcement on the dangers of hopium. Yes, hopium, a powerful substance before a season starts. Every NFL fan gets a taste, especially with the Carolina Panthers, where it seems continuity has created a side effect: the use of the word playoffs. One piece of advice: until they lead the division, just say no.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Open the lid on a carton of Bluebell Homemade in the Shade, and you'll have it made, so to speak. It's a combination of our top-selling homemade vanilla ice cream with a swirl of rich chocolate fudge sauce. Enjoy an instant classic.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your neighborhood Food Lion.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The contestants for today are Cameron in Raleigh and Adam in Raleigh. They will be competing for a $25 Autobell car wash gift card. Before we jump into the numbers game, I will ask both contestants the same question. Dennis will be our judge. He'll pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. Cameron and Raleigh, you're up first. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. Jackson Blake, a 21-year-old for the Carolina Hurricanes, just signed an 8-year, roughly $41 million contract. $45 million contract. And the reports are, I saw this online, that the first splurge purchase he made was a boat. So I ask you this. If you were given $40+ million as a 21-year-old, what's your first splurge purchase?
I don't think I can actually say what the first splurge purchase would be on the radio. So I'm just going to say go to Chili's and get a Presidente margarita.
All right. I didn't know where that one was going, but it made me laugh. So solid answer there, Cameron.
No questions.
Yeah, no follow-ups.
No follow-ups there.
Does it rhyme? No, I'm kidding. Adam and Raleigh, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, we're going to go with the same question to you. In honor of Jackson Blake's big fat contract, if you were 21 years old and you signed a $40+ million contract, what is your first splurge purchase? For Jackson Blake, it was a boat.
I'm going house with a big pool in the back.
House with a big pool. All right, locked in. Dennis, you have to choose between, well, I can't say that on radio, so I'll go to Chili's and get some drinks, and a house with a big old pool in the back.
That's rich. I'm sorry, I can't say it on radio. A million things rolling through my mind right now. Because it's not safe for air, I got to go with the house with the pool in the back. Let's be honest. House in the pool in the backyard sounds awesome, no matter what your age is.
Especially like you're putting down roots in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Like nice house, pool in the back.
Especially this weather.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Adam and Raleigh on this one.
All right, Adam and Raleigh, you get to go first. Cameron and Raleigh, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold, and maybe before you hang up, you tell Dennis off air what we weren't allowed to say. Adam and Raleigh, are you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right, the categories are NFL players from the Mountain West Conference, so they played their college ball in the Mountain West. NFL ballers from the MAC. Maction's finest, so players that played in the MAC, obviously. NBA players that played at Purdue, or NHL Hurricanes only. Those are your four options. Which category are you rolling with?
We're going to go with the first category.
All right. These are NFL players that played their college football in the Mountain West Conference. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals.
86.
Incorrect. Derek Carr, New Orleans Saints.
4.
Correct. Romeo Doubs, Green Bay Packers.
84.
Incorrect. Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals.
88.
Incorrect. Romeo Doubs, Green Bay Packers.
82.
Incorrect. Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals.
Pass.
Austin Corbett, Carolina Panthers. I have to say, and I heard your what is it called, the ventriloquist? I heard the ventriloquist in the background feeding you your words. You were in the right, like when he said it's in the 80s, he was right for both of them. Trey McBride, 85. Romeo Doubs, 87. I thought if you just kept peppering the 80s, you might eventually stumble into one of them. But you did get Derek Carr with 4. For those playing at home, we did say Austin Corbett with the Panthers. He wears 63. But, hey, you avoided the shutout. You got Derek Carr with 4. So you and your coach behind the scenes stay on the line, and we'll see if it holds up, all right?
Sounds good. I got my 10-year-old helping me out here. So.
Hey. I may have been best in my life at the numbers game when I was like 10 to 12. A lot of trading cards, a lot of like Madden video games being played. Cameron and Raleigh is up next. Cameron, can you hear me?
I sure can.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that played their college football in the MAC, Mid-American Conference. NBA, Purdue's finest. Those are players that played college at Purdue. Or NHL Hurricanes only.
NHL Hurricanes only.
All right. It's been a while since we had a Hurricane category chosen, which usually is one of the first. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair with the other categories timing-wise. You need at least 2 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Now let's do it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jalen Chatfield, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Correct. Dylan Coughlin, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Craig Adams, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Correct. Derek Jocelyn, Carolina Hurricanes.
77.
Incorrect. Dylan Coughlin, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Mark Recchi, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Derek Jocelyn, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Correct. Dylan Coughlin, Carolina Hurricanes. That is like a hard technicality one because you said 8, so I have to go incorrect, but then you went 18, which was correct. We just would have had to come back around to it. But still, you got 3, plenty for the win. You get the $25 AutoBell gift card. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks. I'll use that towards a Presidente margarita.
I was going to say, you might not be able to afford whatever you want to afford, but you can at least get a nice car out of it. A nice, clean car out of it, I should say.
Definitely.
So go ahead and stay on the line. If you want to pass along that info to Dennis off air, feel free. But definitely make sure you give him the info he needs to get you your prize, okay? All right. Dennis, can you undo that real quick just so I can tell everybody you just deleted all the numbers, and I want to make sure I can tell everybody the ones playing at home.
There you go.
Jalen Chatfield with the Hurricanes, we would have accepted 5 or 64. He wore 64 prior to settling in on Category 5. Coughlin, 15. Craig Adams with the Carolina Hurricanes, we would have accepted 27 or 28. Derek Jocelyn, we would have accepted 27 or 33. And Recchi was 18, as we mentioned there. Got it right just after saying the wrong answer. So those are the ones, if you were playing at home, that you were looking for. Solid showing. I'm pleased with everybody involved in that numbers game. Sometimes you leave a little to be desired, but today was a good day. So good work for everybody involved. I don't know why I feel like some kind of emperor from Gladiator. Like I get to decide if it was a good enough match to continue or not. I feel like after every numbers game I have to, well, that was worthy. Thumbs up. Or that was disappointing. Thumbs down. But you hear enough of them, you do kind of get a vibe for what's working and what's not.
Speaking of Carolina Hurricanes, since that was a category that was chosen, their ECHL affiliate, the Greensboro Gargoyles, have signed their first player. Officially have signed their first player.
Logan
Nelson.
I almost said Logan Taylor. He plays for Boston College football. Logan Nelson, 31-year-old vet coming in to help the Gargoyles out. Do you know what we should do? We should give an option of like you ever play spades?
Yeah.
Where you can throw like double nil. That's like the whole like whoa, right? Like haven't looked at your cards. You're kind of taking a big swing. We should have like a Gargoyles or a NC Courage, right? Something local, a Durham Bulls, where maybe the numbers aren't as well known, and it's only available to the second person. This is me just making up rules, so this may not ever go into effect. So don't think it's possible, but. Sometimes I feel bad when the first person in the numbers game gets like a 5 for 5 in 18 seconds. And now we have to go through the motions with the next person, but it's really tough, right? It's like you're probably not going to get this. I want to give like a nuclear option where we can go like Gargoyles. And if you get it right, each one is worth like 1.5 or something, right? Just a way that you can swing for the fences. Again, maybe not. But it would spice things up. I want to give some 5-point plays, something crazy. And when you do it, we go with like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music. I don't know. We'll workshop it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Eric Tulsky, GM of the Carolina Hurricanes, was on with Adam Gold right here on this network earlier today. If you want to hear what he said about Nikolai Ehlers, about some of the prospects in the farm system for the Carolina Hurricanes, you're going to have to stick around because we'll give you that audio. We'll give you those clips next.
How about a little taste of NFL football? The Pro Football Hall of Fame game. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Herbert throws it in the air. Catch made. McConkey takes it all the way for the touchdown. 86 yards.
Detroit.
Jamison Williams gets a block, breaks a tackle 20, staggers to the 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Detroit!
And Thursday night at 8 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
Bank of America is a nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Blake, he'll step out in front. Marshall, he can't stop it. Jackson Blake, his first playoff goal. And this place has been amped to 11. It's a one-goal game here in Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, waving to everybody in YouTube land. You can check our live streams every single day. Watch along with us. You can also check all the content we put out as far as podcasts, clips from this show, clips from the Adam Gold show. We as a station, put a lot of work into the YouTube, and we'd love for you to join and partake in that content. Search 99.9 The Fan on YouTube, subscribe, and join that ever-growing community. Hunting 20,000. I think we're somewhere over north of 18,000.
18,269.
I've made the promise, even though I haven't run it up the flagpole to see if corporate's on board,
okay,
that we're doing something, we're giving something away for 20,000 followers. We did it for 10. I think we can do it for 15.
We did it for 15.
Yeah, I think we did it for 15. We'll do it for 50,000 too, but we got to go through 20 first.
Yeah.
So we'll give something away, but you got to get there. You got to help us get there. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Tell your friends. Right now, you can tell your friends that Jackson Blake ain't going anywhere because he signed a 8-year extension on top of the last year of his entry-level deal with the Canes for 9 years of commitment to the Carolina Hurricanes. Because of that, Eric Tulsky was doing a bit of the media rounds, and he joined our network. He joined 99.9 The Fan. I assume you can catch that interview on our YouTube page.
It's already out there.
There you go. With Adam Gold earlier today. And Adam actually, I don't know why I said actually, but he got him talking about some things other than the Jackson Blake deal as well, which I found interesting. One of which is Nikolai Ehlers, right? There's for a team that really seemed pretty set, there's been a good amount of highlights and news-making from the Carolina Hurricanes this offseason. Logan Stankoven's deal, Jackson Blake's deal, the Keandre Miller trade, and, of course, Nikolai Ehlers, definitely one of, maybe the biggest forward free agent signing of the free agency cycle. And Eric Tulsky was asked by Adam Gold how Ehlers fits in with the team, and this is what Tulsky had to say.
He's an incredibly skilled player, one of the best skaters in the league. He's just dynamic. And again, to the point about we have the puck as much as anybody does, and turning possession into premium scoring chances and goals is the way we keep taking steps forward. and he's a guy who can help us do that.
That's what I keep hearing about Ehlers. Skilled. Like, I just keep hearing, like, give him the puck and watch out. I'm so looking forward to the first few times he's just in space with the puck on his stick and going, like, do something cool. Like, I just want to see it.
Well, skilled to go along with elite level skater too.
And that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Just the there are certain guys where their talent is like big. Certain guys where their talent is sprinter speed. And then there's certain guys that are just like the hockey skill, the skating, the stick handling, all of that. And I just want to see it, right? It's also a skill that's hard to quantify, right? It's not, how skilled you are is not something we can put on like miles per hour or something. They like count it, right? So I'm very looking forward to it, and also very looking forward to, if we assume, and Dennis, is this okay to assume, at least starts with Aho, Jarvis, and Ehlers at the top line?
Yeah. I mean, he was brought in to be a top line guy.
I think Jarvis would be the one that maybe would move up and down because we've seen him just be versatile. Anyway, if we assume that's the top line, I not only want to see how Ehlers reacts the first time he gets it in space, I want to see what the other guys do to react off of it, right? Because, they are so unselfish and how they deal with the attention. Ehlers is somebody that I think fits in from a personality standpoint and a skill standpoint with that group in particular. And by the way, the deal, he's under a long-term contract, and it's not suffocating as far as a per-year value. There's a lot to like there as far as how that contract may age. This next question is one I want to spend some time on. Adam Gold asked Eric Tulsky about potential prospects that could come up and join the Carolina Hurricanes, meaning guys in their farm system, guys in their minors, AHL, whatever. And the reason why I find it so interesting is there's not a lot of openings, right? You see this in baseball sometimes where you got like an all-star shortstop and you got 3 all-star shortstop or high-profile blue-chip prospects in the minors at shortstop, and like, I don't know, that guy's stuck in Double-A because they got a Triple-A stud and a major league stud, and there's no real spot for him to go. And then you start moving him to second base and doing a whole bunch of other stuff or trading him. The Canes don't have a lot of room for wingers. They have some good prospects at the wing. They don't have a lot of room on the blue line. They have some prospects on the blue line. So Tulsky was asked about prospects that could come up, and I immediately perked up my ears for the answer. Here's what he said.
I mean, we have, I think, several guys who are right on the cusp. Obviously, Bradley Nadeau had a fantastic season in the AHL last year. I think Felix Ungersorum is one big summer away from taking a step like Jackson did. I think we have a couple guys on D who are ready for a call-up at least here and there. Whether any of them actually kick down the doors to be on the opening night lineup remains to be seen. We have a pretty deep team right now, and that makes that hard. But when somebody looks ready, we will find room for them. That is always the easiest problem in the world to solve, that you have too many good players.
I'm going to fight back a little bit. I think it's the best problem in the world to have. I don't think it's the easiest problem in the world to solve. Because if Ungersorum, by the way, are you thinking, like, just for my planning, when Felix Ungersorum is brought up, are you thinking Felix Ungersorum a center or a winger?
I'm probably anticipating him probably being a center because they're working on him at that.
Okay, I think that takes a little bit longer. I think he's maybe more than a big summer away from being ready to play center at the NHL.
But you know what he's capable of popping out to the wing, no problem.
For sure. So for just the sake of this conversation, I'm going to focus on Bradley Nadeau. If Bradley Nadeau is just ripping up the AHL next year, I don't think it's easy to just say we'll bring him up because he's ready. Because unless somebody is hurt or, right, the problem could solve itself with injuries. But it's not easy to go to a player who's doing his job at the NHL and say, sorry, like this guy has the potential to do something higher level or whatever it is. I don't think it's that easy. I think it's awesome to have that problem, right? I mean, that is the definition of first world problems, right? My private jet takes too long to fill up with gas. Like, I wish we all could have that problem, but I don't think it's an easy one to solve. I just think it's good to have to solve it. The other part that makes it interesting is specifically with Nadeau, what is Nadeau known for?
It's goal scorer.
Goal scorers, right? Just wicked shot, right? Sniper, whatever you want to say. That isn't something that the Canes have in spades, despite the fact that they have a whole bunch of wingers that are NHL level. They don't really have a overwhelming surplus of guys that hunt their own shot first, right? They got a lot of guys that are skilled skaters, a lot of guys that possess the puck, a lot of great two-way players, a lot of great passers, all these things. But if there is something their wings are lacking, it might be that, right? Just the cold-blooded goal-scoring gene, which does make it tempting if Nadeau is ready to find a place for him. But again, I just say where, because he doesn't bring some of the things that some of the guys up there have, right? Like the physicality, the size, right? He's another undersized guy. Even somebody like Eric Robinson, right, who I think his ceiling is not as high. He does play a specific role on the Carolina Hurricanes, and if you take that away, somebody else is going to have to kind of do some of that. Like, I'm already sitting here talking about Jankowski maybe being the 13th forward, a healthy scratch, or Carrier, like something, and then you're taking off a lot of physicality. If you take those guys off and put Nadeau in, there's some size there that's not replaced. Again, this is an awesome. I like you love having this conversation. Like, how awesome is it that this conversation happens? But I don't think it's like, paint by numbers. Oh, it'll just solve itself. I think there's some hard decisions that would have to be made in order to get one of those prospects up there at the next level. And you know what's always lurking? A trade for a second-line center or a goalie. It's always lurking.
Well, the nice thing is of having so many guys that are capable of potentially coming up to the NHL. I mean, other teams see that too, which allows you to, hey, we got to use futures, which are picks and prospects, in order to acquire a player. You have that a plethora of that.
Or what did we hear all offseason about the trade market? Teams wanted NHL skaters, NHL players. If you think Bradley Nadeau is like ready, right? Like the microwave dinged 5 minutes ago and is just beeping nonstop. The food is ready and it's annoying the heck out of you that it's still beeping. You could send away an NHL skater and replace them with Bradley Nadeau, thus satisfying what the market says is necessary to bring in the player you want to bring in, and also not feeling like you're leaving your own cupboard bare because you have this guy that's ready to step in. And that's just one player, right? That's a whole conversation about just Bradley Nadeau. If Felix Ungersorum does have a big summer and is absolutely ready, that's a completely different situation. If the guy whose last name starts with a D, the draft pick from last year,
Dominic Badinka.
There you go. Or sorry, first name starts with a D. Badinka. It's just fun to say. If he takes wild steps and is ready to play on the blue line, I don't think it's easy to just find the spot, but it does open up a whole bunch of avenues for different things you can do moving forward.
It also could be a situation where if you have to use a couple current NHL players to maybe go acquire one superstar, you know that you have that next guy that can step up and fill in right away.
You can backfill, if you will. I think it's a good spot to be. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football is tomorrow. NFL Hall of Fame game. Omarion Hampton will be playing for the Chargers. I'm not excited or anything. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 to preview a game that doesn't matter at all, but it's football. So stick around for that. We'll see you tomorrow. Follow us on YouTube. 1 minute. We got more time than I thought. I was a minute ahead. So I'll take this time to ask you to follow our YouTube one more time. 99.9 The Fan. While you're at it, subscribe to our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. What other social medias are on? We're on a whole bunch of social medias.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram.
All Sometimes I feel really old when I'm talking about social media. So whatever social media you're on, search 99.9 The Fan, subscribe. You can interact with us there. We have people checking all the direct messages and private messages and everything else. You can also just tweet at us. If you want to follow me, at Donnelly Sports on X. Dennis is at The Fan Rookie. We have a lot of conversations there, so you can listen to those. Now we can start saying our goodbyes. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we'll be back for a Thursday edition of the show. So be back for that. Adam Gold at noon, all those sorts of things. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Are the Detroit Lions really as close as we think they are?
Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are right there. And I believe in the culture that head coach Dan Campbell has built in the Motor City. Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are going to be right there again, vying for NFC supremacy. And I think this is one of the best teams in all of football.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
At Wells Fargo, we know what got you into your business. Whether it's manufacturing, running a restaurant, or your business from home. What you didn't get into your business for was banking. But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
You hear that? That's Mike, sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Target, back-to-school-a-days are here. What is back-to-school-a-days, you ask? We're talking 7 days of deals on looks and styles the kids will love, at prices you'll love even more. Because back-to-school at Target means getting all of the above. Through August 2nd, save 25% on select kids' clothes with